Charlamagne the God.
Andrew Schultz.
We are the Brilliant Idiots, and this week's episode of Brilliant Idiots is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included in your Squarespace website. There's so many scammers out here trying to get you to pay thousands of dollars to learn quote-unquote coding, and trust, they only leave you confused and broke. Keep it simple and focused by using Squarespace to build your website. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter offer code IDIOT to get 10% off your purchase. Squarespace, sets your website apart. Now, I finally got a chance to, I know this is a week old, it seems like an eternity, but I listened to Taxstone's podcast with Beanie Siegel twice.
Okay.
I just want to be on record as saying of saying this. I've said it on the Breakfast Club. I want to say it here again on the Brilliant Idiots. Got nothing but respect for Beanie Siegel, but that interview was complete and total bullshit. I don't care how much y'all say he was saying real stuff and spitting jewels. All I heard was a guy who was bitter, who was jealous, who was envious, and who was hating on Meek Mill. And whenever you have an older individual, or not even an older individual, any individual who says things like, that used to be me, or when I was in that position, things weren't like that, or I can do this better than you, you're just jealous. Mm-hmm. You're just envious. You're just bitter. Nothing more, nothing less. And, I was really, really just hurt after listening to that interview, because I just expect more from Beanie Siegel. And, it's easy to pile on Meek Mill and be like, Meek Mill, See, the thing with Meek Mill is a lot of people don't like him right now. So when you don't like somebody, you'll ride with anything that's against him.
Yes.
So even though Beanie is sitting there sounding jealous, sounding bitter, sounding envious, we still be like,
you want to hate Meek.
Yeah, you want to hate Meek. Beanie saying some real stuff. And, I look at people's resumes. I look at their catalog. I think back to the interview I did with Beanie Siegel when he was upset with Jay-Z back in 2009. And he really had no reason to be upset at Jay-Z either. Like, there was nothing behind that.
Who, Beanie?
No. Yeah, there was really nothing behind it. You're in essence, you're upset because Jay-Z didn't return your phone calls or you couldn't get in touch with Jay-Z. You got upset with Jay-Z because he came to the courtroom and he sat on the stand and, he said he wasn't going to take responsibility, for you. He told the judge that. In essence, Jay-Z was right. You know what I mean? He made the right call. Now, you fast forward to, the Beanie Siegel, Meek Mill situation. You're upset with Meek because, somebody said, hey, if you can get Meek for $100,000, I'll give you 15. And Meek didn't reply the way you wanted him to reply. So you say, I got to get next to him because I know he won't tell me no in my face or whatever it was. You just wanted to get next to him in the studio.
Wait a minute, what was the 100 to 15 thing?
Somebody offered him $100,000.
Who?
A concert promoter. Concert promoter was like, yo, if you can get Meek for $100,000, I'll give you 15. So that the Beanie. So I guess Meek wasn't replying the way that Beanie wanted him to reply. So he got upset about that. And to me, all of that is snakish, bro. I told y'all this last week, I'll say it again. A lot of those guys, and I can't even speak for a lot of those guys, but I'll say Beanie seems like he's loyal to those. His loyalty is based on who's presenting him with an opportunity in that moment. That's hard for me to respect, bro. Mm-hmm. It's just hard for me to respect. So, if y'all think that Beanie was saying some real stuff, salute to y'all. Me personally, I see through the bullshit.
Yeah, I'm just confused. So if he didn't get the $15,000 for this $100,000 performance, and that's what caused all this beef, Meek is supposed to perform just because?
Listen, man, you got to ask yourself, if a person is willing to stand next to you and say things like, yo, I want to get next to this person because I know he won't tell me no. Your intentions are just all wrong from the beginning. You're in the studio with Meek, acting like you're cool with him, but in the back of your mind, you really don't like this guy. But you get on the record and say you'll ride for him, you'll be in LA in 3 hours, and then 8-9 days later, you can't stand him. He's a sucker. He's not real. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. Stop saying men don't gossip, because that's something that people like to tweet me about. Oh, Charlamagne, you get paid to gossip. Beanie Siegel, the realest street nigga alive, was on Taxstone podcast gossiping his ass off. Non-stop. That was gossip. When he says things like, what I think happened is Meek rolled over and asked Nicki, yo, did you ever fuck him? And he ain't tell you the answer you want. That's gossip, bro. So stop it with these street niggas don't gossip.
Why are we acting like rap isn't gossip?
It's all gossip.
The whole genre is gossip.
Everything is gossip. What do you think we're doing on social media?
Social media, go back to any rap song, it's fucking gossip. Any story you told when Biggie fucked Anthony Mason's girlfriend or wife, that's fucking gossip. Right? You're just a fucking People magazine. You're Us Weeklying a rap song.
It's different. It's different. It's different when it's coming from you. No, it's different.
You can still gossip about you.
Biggie's I Got a Story to Tell isn't necessarily gossip because that's his story to tell.
Well, this is Beanie's story to tell.
No, it's not.
If you in the room,
he was in the room with Meek and Nicki while they was fucking.
No, I'm talking about when you're in the room. Well, I'm talking about when he's in the room with Meek in the studio.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about the part where he specifically said Meek rolled over and said to Nicki, "I bet you fucking did you fuck him?" And she didn't give him the answer you wanted. That's gossip. Bro.
Fuck who?
Drake.
Oh,
that's gossip. Listen, all I'm saying is, if y'all think Beanie said some real shit, cool. I personally saw through it. I feel like this is Beanie's track record. This is his resume. He didn't really have a reason to go at Jay. He really don't have a reason to go at Meek. And I just think that his loyalty lies based off who is presenting him with an opportunity at the time.
Yeah, it's just I knew there was something off about Beanie because he's from Philly and can't grow a beard.
He got a beard. Man.
No, he doesn't.
It's not as lush as everybody
It's
else.
not that lush.
It's not as plush as everybody else's, but he got a beard.
Dude, for Philly, that's a very light beard. You know what I mean? Can we? And that's something you have to be very concerned about. Look, can we talk about the L's that Philly has been taking? Philly is a constant loss machine.
What do you mean?
What the fuck is happening? You heard about Ben Simmons.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, a constant loss machine. What the fuck is going on in Philly? Yeah, but you can't say that.
You can't say that.
How no?
Because the Eagles are 4-0 right now. Carlson Wentz right now is balling.
Let me tell you something.
What?
That will stop.
And guess who else is from Philly? Kevin Hart, who just passed Jerry Seinfeld. Okay, stop it. Philly's just like any place else. It sounds good to have that narrative, but that's not the truth.
Kevin Hart only started popping off when he left Philly. Let's keep it very real. Kev don't live in Philly. If Kev lived in Philly, he wouldn't have a career. Nothing. Exactly.
But you can't live in Philly. No,
Sam Bradford was injured every 2 games when he played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is now a 4-0 quarterback. Well, he's 3-0, but the Minnesota Vikings are 4-0. Hasn't been injured once.
Eagles 4-0, bro.
Eagles are 4-0.
And that rookie quarterback is balling.
How much? I guarantee you that rookie quarterback's going down this season. I guarantee you the Philadelphia Eagles are going to fuck it up. I'm not wishing bad. It doesn't matter how many wishing wells you have.
Philly?
It's not going to help.
Will Smith.
It's Philly. And what happened to him? He went to Bel Air.
So what?
Fresh Prince.
He's still from Philly.
And the second he went to Bel Air, shit started popping off.
The Roots from Philly.
And where are they at? In New York.
Yeah, but you can't say it like it's Philly.
Hell yeah.
Like Philly's just like any other city. Philly has
Stop
great wins,
it with your defending nonsense.
And they got some great losses.
Tell me what great wins are still happening in Philly. I need to know the great wins that are happening in Philly. Right now, who is currently in Philly and it's going well?
Who's currently in New York and doing well?
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose ain't even from here.
First of all,
what are you talking about?
You said currently. Did we not say currently?
Yes. Yeah, Jay-Z don't live here.
First of all, I just want
Diddy don't live here.
I want to say one point about Derrick Rose.
Okay.
If Derrick Rose plays well this season, he didn't rape that girl.
I don't think Derrick raped her anyway, but who am I?
But I will say, if he starts playing shitty, he absolutely.
I don't even want to talk about rape no more. You know why I don't talk about rape? Because rape is such a one-sided conversation. Rape is a conversation that men just can't win. Like, we are guilty. If they find us not guilty in the court of law, we're guilty in the court of public opinion. Are guys really out here raping girls? Absolutely. But when guys get found not guilty, I don't know why the concept of women, a lot of women lie about being raped is hard to grasp. Because guess what? It's not hard for me to grasp that it is dudes out here raping.
Charlamagne, women never lie about anything. Why would you think that they lie? A woman has never lied about anything in life.
I just don't get it. Like a woman will, salute to my girl Phoebe Robinson. I was just having a conversation with Phoebe, her and Angela Yee. Women will argue you down about how men are really out here raping women. I'm not disputing that at all.
Yeah.
But let me say, it's a lot of girls out here lying about being raped too.
Yeah.
The number of cases, sound like Andrew Stokes, statistically, the number of cases are so low with women being raped. I'm like, falsely accused of being raped. Like,
first of all, this is what I don't understand about that statistic. So that means we should discredit them?
I don't know.
That's literally like me going, listen, only 10% of the population has AIDS. Let them die. Just fucking let them die. It's only 5%. Let them die. Who cares?
I sat down with Nate Parker this week. I asked Nate Parker, I said, can a black man ever be truly not guilty in America?
Oh, my God. Here we go with this fucking victimology shit.
It's not victimology.
Yeah, man.
It's the truth.
Let's keep spreading this shit. Let's keep poisoning these young kids.
It's not victimology.
Poison their ears.
It's not victimology.
All right,
it's the truth.
Go. What is it?
Because if you're if you live in a society, and you can't dispute this, where some people look at you and just think you're big and you're bad, as we heard the cop in the helicopter say when that dude got gunned down, he looks like a bad dude. If we live in that kind of society, and then you're found not guilty in a court of law, but then your own people say, oh no, he raped that girl, he's guilty, even though he got found not guilty in a court of law. When can you ever truly be not guilty?
Found guilty?
He got found not guilty.
He got found not guilty.
That's what I said.
Well, I don't know.
What you mean? I thought it was in a court of law. You got
it was in a court of law.
What are you talking about? Chris, shut up, Chris.
Talking off of my Chris, be quiet. Stop it, Chris. Chris, stop it. Now Chris is going to go into his Googles and then just hand you the computer at a most inopportune time.
What are you talking about?
Anyway,
his friend got charged.
John Celestine got convicted, but then they went back to court. But can we just go back to Philly? I just want to say one thing about Philly and how everything breaks in Philly. The Liberty Bell is in Philly, is it not? And does it have a giant crack in it? It absolutely does, because everything breaks in fucking Philly. That's what happens with Philly. It breaks the fuck down. If you stay in Philly long enough, it will break and crumble. You need to leave Philly immediately. That's not the case with New York.
I think you need to leave anywhere.
Not New York.
Unless you're really,
You don't need to leave L.A.?
Depends.
You don't even need to leave Miami.
Depends what you're doing. If you're an actor in New York, you probably gonna have to leave New York to go to LA.
If DJ Khaled lived in Philly, he would have 6 heart attacks by now. But the fact that he's in Miami and you can prosper in that city, he's doing okay. And he's extremely overweight.
But Khaled's spending a lot of time in LA now. You know why? Because he's in a different industry. Them TV gigs.
LA works, baby. LA works. You can thrive in LA. If he went to Philly, he would lose a toe. Guaranteed. He might lose multiple toes, because that's what Philly does.
I actually think Philly is a great breeding ground for a lot of different talent. Like with any other place. Like I think a lot of things start in Philly.
It's a great breeding ground for what?
For talent.
For talent that falls apart.
No. You know how many talented people have come out of Philly?
Name them.
First, you can start with The Roots.
Can we talk about how Rocky
Eve, you
lost
can go Music Soul Child.
The majority
you can go
of his
Bilal.
own
You can go Kevin Hart. You can go Pete Siegel.
Mm-hmm.
You can go Meek Mill. Mm-hmm. You can go, what's the boxing name? Joe Lewis? Joe Frazier.
Yeah,
even though he's born in South Carolina, let's be clear on that. But Philly,
and then what happened when he was in
Will
Philly?
Smith,
what happened?
Jazzy Jeff.
Did you just name Jazzy Jeff in your list of Philly's most talented people?
Yes. You want to go ahead and sound clueless by saying something that you don't know what you're talking about clearly?
Jazzy Jeff is one of the most talented people that Philly has ever
Chris, do you want to tell him anything? Or am I just going to like...
Hold on. Jazzy fucking
Dwayne,
Jeff.
do you want to say... Does anybody want to comment?
Jazzy Jeff.
Hold on. Jazzy Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most important DJs in the history of hip hop.
Without question.
Why is that?
Without question. He's one of the first Transformer DJs. You know, they're considered a joke now, but like they were one of the most important early groups in hip hop, without question.
Do you understand that at one point in time, the DJ was more important than the artists in rap groups? Eric B and Rakim, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. That's why the DJ used to come before the MC's name. Jazzy Jeff was
That's why he
incredible.
had to be on the show.
He had to be. He had to be on the show. He wasn't just on the Fresh Prince because Will was his boy, and it's like, hey, we're gonna throw him out every other episode.
Absolutely, he was.
No, he was.
Do you think that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air wouldn't have worked without Jazzy Jeff?
Jazzy played an important part.
That was the important part that held the show together. That
he
was
played
the
an important
glue
part
that held the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you not remember Jazzy Jeff from that show?
Barely.
You're lying.
I barely remember Jazzy.
That was one of the best scenes of the show for whatever episode. You sat there and wanted to see Jeff get thrown out.
Yeah.
You wanted to see that.
I would turn in every single week. Every single week I would turn in to watch him get thrown out. Absolutely.
Jazzy Jeff is
and that great dance move he had. What was it? The Carlton. Yeah, that's right. It wasn't the Jazzy Jeff.
What are you talking about?
That's my point. He doesn't have a fucking dance that anybody remembers. The only thing people remember about that show is he got thrown the fuck out, and if he wasn't from Philly, he'd actually get to stay in a room. That's the reality of the matter, okay? Just admit that his career wouldn't have been broken if he wasn't from Philly. Philly will destroy you. Get out of Philly. Oh, absolutely. I don't. And there's a reason. There's a reason. Because Jazzy Jeff hasn't gotten to the point where you need to know about him.
That's not true. He's actually a great hip-hop icon.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely.
Name a Jazzy Jeff album.
He doesn't have to have albums. His albums were the fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air albums. He's a great DJ.
He also helped usher in the whole neo soul movement from Philadelphia. Behind the scenes, he was a big part of that. Also, while we're naming famous Philadelphia artists, John Coltrane, Philadelphia, during his most creative period.
Okay, Chris was born in the 60s, so he's right. He's right,
Orchestra. Okay, you guys didn't mention Jill Scott. I would throw the all-time or one time the all-time NBA scoring leader Wilt Chamberlain into that mix.
Yeah, and he died at what age?
Yeah, but he had sex with over 30,000 women. So.
And when he started having sex with them, when he left fucking Philadelphia,
high school, Overbrook High.
That's what happened. I'm telling you.
I can tell you somebody. I can tell you somebody who's from Philly and still lives in Philly and never broke down.
Okay, who?
Patti LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle.
Patti fucking LaBelle still lives in Philly right now in a nice gated community, minding her goddamn business, and she ain't never broke down.
All right, Philly's got one. Philly got one person. This is really good. This is really.
Philly's a very rich city.
Philly is so accustomed to losing that in the last Rocky, which is a written, scripted film. Sorry, the last two Rockies, if you include Black Rocky, right? The protagonist loses. They're so used to fucking losing and being losers.
What do you mean?
That Rocky Balboa in Balboa loses the fight against whatever his name is, and then in the most the recent one, Michael B. Jordan loses his final fight as well.
But when
they're so accustomed to losing, they don't even have to win in fictional movies.
That's not true though.
You're gonna tell me that in the last Rocky, Rocky won?
It was a moral victory. He was 60 years old. He was. He was 60 years old. Put it like this. He won so much in that movie that you had to listen to actually hear them announce that Antonio Tarver was the winner. Because you know who they showed walking with their hands up and everybody cheering for? Rocky. He was 60 years old and went the distance with Antonio Tarver, who was the greatest fighter at that time. First of all, Rocky never loses in movies.
Rocky lost in the first movie. Rocky
didn't.
Are you not noticing what's going on? Oh, did he have another moral victory?
Yes.
Ooh, how cute. A moral victory.
Listen, that's the whole point of the Rocky.
I just want to put my moral victory belt up against my mantle.
No, time out.
That's okay. It's okay, Greg.
I understand what you're saying. I know he lost, but I'm saying as far as the overall arch of the movie, it was designed for him to win over people, to win these moral victories.
That's all, because that's all Philly ever can get is a moral victory, because they don't get an actual victory.
That's not true.
Yes, it is true. Okay, think about it. Rocky,
you must plan to never do shows in Philly.
I'm doing shows, by the way, in the new year. I'll be there in 2017, and that's going to be a good luck year for Philly.
Listen,
okay, I'm bringing good luck to Philly.
One thing about Philly, they may lose in a lot of things, but they will jump on your ass, black and white.
I believe that, dude.
Listen, you go to an Eagles game wearing the wrong jersey, you're going to get shit thrown at you. They're going to call you every name under the sun. It does not fucking matter.
Undeniable.
They will
undeniable.
Philly fans?
Yeah.
Woo.
That's undeniable, because they've been through the worst and they're still fucking there. Can we also notice in what is the Black Rocky movie called again?
Creed,
yeah. I'd like to also point out in Creed that not only did Michael B. Jordan lose, but his girlfriend also lost her hearing ability. So that just goes further into what happens when you're a Philly and your body just starts to break down, like Ben Simmons' foot, like Joel Embiid's entire body, like eventually the Eagles' defense and offense will do, like pretty much everybody who's ever tried to do anything spectacular.
It's amazing how you've come to this one conclusion based off Ben Simmons' foot.
Ben Simmons' foot is the needle that broke Philadelphia's back.
You've come to this whole conclusion about Philly based off Ben Simmons' foot
was healthy. And he stepped on those Philly streets, and there's something in there, the same thing that broke a steel bell. How does a bell break?
Listen,
what the fuck could break a bell?
That same energy in Philly also created Will Smith. It also created Kevin Hart. It also created Patti LaBelle. It also created some very, very prominent people.
I will say this about Philly. The comics that come out of Philly, and there's a lot of comics in New York that have come to Philly, are some of the most naturally funny people I've ever met. I'm talking about like young guys that are in New York right now that I know. I mean, and also like, Spank is from Philly. I mean, Kev's boy Spank.
Yeah.
And I don't know Naeem that well, but like some of the most naturally funny people. And I think that comes from the fact that there's just so much hardships that you're coming from that you have to find a way to make this kind of shit funny. But so I will give them tons of credit in that regard. You can tell a guy who's at least I can, for example, tell a guy who's from Philly.
I mean, I think out of any struggle comes some of the greatest people. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like people who don't have a story. You need to have a story. Like, people who have a real story, not only do they last longer in the game, their material is much stronger, especially when they're tapping into, that story that comes from a real place.
Sure. And their skin is thicker. and you've been through some shit.
Yeah,
You're not
absolutely.
as affected by nonsense.
Absolutely.
You know, can I tell you recently a story that just happened. I was down in Tampa for a wedding, right? Now, are you familiar that Tampa has some of the best strip clubs in America? Did you know that?
That's Florida. I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay. We go to this strip club. Now, I'm excited because remember when we had the guys from Atlanta up here with Nick Grant?
Yeah,
remember they gave us the
Amir
whole...
and Jason.
Amir and Jason gave me the whole stripper breakdown. So I'm like ready to use these lines and shit like that, right? So we go into the strip club. I go in immediately. Beautiful black chick comes up to me, stripper. She goes, hey, do you want to dance? I remember what Jason told me. When they ask you, do you want to dance? You go, I just saw you dance, right?
Yeah.
So I hit her with the, I just saw you dance. And then she goes, no, you didn't. I wasn't on stage. What, you all think we look alike? Right? So immediately upon entering the strip club, I'm about to feel like a racist, right?
Yeah.
So I go, okay, let me just calm down. I go, oh, no, I just think all strippers look alike, right? She kind of giggles. I'm like, okay, I'm out of this uncomfortable situation. Got some cash. I got like $100 bill wrapped around some 20s, right? Take out 3 20s. I give it to the waitress.
Why would you throw 20s?
No, I take out 3 20s, give it to the waitress.
Oh.
Let me get some singles.
Okay.
Right? I take my wad of singles, put it in my other pocket. I'm just hanging out. All of a sudden, I hear a commotion, right? There's this girl on stage doing unbelievable shit. And I knew it was going to be unbelievable because I turned around and she was wearing Jordans.
What do you call unbelievable?
You're about to hear. Jordans, not heels, Jordans. I'm like, why the fuck would she be wearing sneakers? And I looked, and there's, you know how you can sit up on the stage, there's a place where you put your drinks? She is smashing her pussy on that. It's like she was trying to nail in something to the fucking board. Like, literally smashing her pussy on the fucking bar. Smash, 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 smash. I'm so excited when I see this. I was
about to tell me she was smoking a blunt with
No,
her pussy.
fuck the blunt. Slapping her fucking pussy like hard,
That's
right?
regular.
Anyway, I take out a wad, right? And I'm so excited. I just start throwing money, right? And I know something's fucked up because there's this Mexican dude that's sitting on the bar and he looks at me concerned, right? And I all of a sudden feel my wad. I'm like, oh shit, this one feels skinny. And I realize I'm throwing money from the 100 wrapped in 20s wad, not the singles that I just got from the waitress.
What a fucking idiot.
Dude, I literally
threw
100 on the fucking floor, and then 2 other 20s I threw. And you know it's fucked up because the Mexican dude's literally a pussy is being smashed on the bar right in front of him, and he's looking at me like something's fucking off, right? I grab the 2 20s that fall on the bar, and the 100 I reach for, but it's too far. I can't reach for it.
Listen, well, stuff like that is good for race relations in America. Was the girl black?
No, she was Latina.
Oh, that's still good for race relations.
She was Afro-Latina.
No, that's good. That's good for race relations in America. I realized that yesterday when I gave this homeless lady $25.
White girl?
White girl. And Wax got it on video. She said, it's always the black ones that are good people. These fucking, she said it's always the black ones that are good people. These fucking white people are so fucking cheap, giving me quarters and dollars and shit. They're fucking crackers. That's what they are. And I was like, whoa, wow, all right, baby. So that's good for race relations in America. Yo.
I guess maybe I helped race relations.
You gave a Latino woman $140 in the strip club.
Oh, I stopped her from dancing, and I told her that there was 100. And she was like, bullshit. And
she owed you some head.
Let me tell you something.
Hey, it's that private room. That's the $40 where that came from if you just go ahead and, you know.
She goes, bullshit, you didn't do it. I held her wrist, and then I pointed at the $100 so she would see it on the fucking floor, and then she like just grinded her butt against my penis as I was on the side.
Yeah, she owed you a dance now.
She gave me like a bullshit dance. She's like, "Is that worth it?" And I was like, "No, it's a fucking $100 on the goddamn fucking ground."
Should ask for some goddamn head, bro.
Bro, I wish that Mexican dude just snatched that 100 out of the fucking sky so fast. It was like, dog, you don't want to do this. Don't fucking do this to yourself.
Hold on, let's pay some bills. Okay, today's episode of Brilliant Idiots is brought to you by our newest sponsor, Mafia 3. Picture it, 1968, New Bordeaux, Louisiana. The rules of organized crime have changed. After years of combat in Vietnam, Lincoln Clay knows this truth. Family isn't who you're born with, it's who you die for. When the surrogate family, the black mob, is slaughtered by the Italian mafia, Lincoln builds a new family on the ashes of the old and blazes a path of military-grade revenge through the brutal criminal underground responsible.
Developed by Hangar 13 and 2K Games, this open-world experience lets you take control of Lincoln Clay's narrative as he works to tear down the mob in New Bordeaux, a reimagined version of 1968 New Orleans. This is Mafia 3, and it's available October 7th on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. But guess what? You can enter to win a copy of Mafia 3. Just go to mafiagame.com/brilliantidiots for a chance to win. That's Mafia 3. Pre-order now on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Available October 7th. Rated M for mature. Yo, Brilliant Idiots Live, California, Anaheim. We're going to be at the Now Hear This Fest, okay? 3-day festival. Your favorite podcasts like Mark Maron's WTF, Comedy Bang Bang, and of course the Brilliant Idiots. So you can go and you can get tickets to the Now Hear This Fest at nowhearthisfest.com, and you can use the code IDIOTS to save 25% on general admission. That's nowhearthisfest.com. The offer code is IDIOTS. You can see our show October 29th. Okay, we will see you out there.
I had a great conversation with Lena Dunham this week.
Okay, talk to me. I saw that.
She was on the Breakfast Club. I mean, I personally like Lena. The reason I like Lena is because I understand people. Okay. And, you know, I liken it to the Kid Cudi situation. Kid Cudi just checked into rehab yesterday, and Kid Cudi said that he's not at peace with himself, and he hasn't been at peace with himself for a long time. Good. And if you remember, Kid Cudi lashed out at Drake and Kanye a couple weeks ago. And I always tell you, when you see somebody coming at someone or attacking someone, a lot of times you shouldn't take it personal because it's not you. A lot of times it's them. Hurt people hurt people. Yeah, that's just the truth to the matter.
Yeah.
And, you know, I understand Lena because she is an admitted insecure woman. Mm-hmm. She has anxiety. She takes medication for her anxiety. So I'm sure she suffers from maybe a light depression or something like that. So it's like when I saw the thing with Odell, I thought it was absolutely wrong what she did. I thought that shit was complete and total bullshit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? For her to come up with this whole scenario in her mind and, you know, project it as if Odell Beckham actually said these things to her. But what she did was project her feelings to the people. That's how she felt. Yeah. Not what Odell said. That's how she felt. That's dangerous.
Yeah, but I thought that's funny. That's what guys would do in this situation.
You think so?
Absolutely. Dude, if you or I was sitting next to Beyonce at a dinner, right? And Beyonce would not fucking notice us or not even talk to us or whatever, even if she was the most polite, sweet person, I would go to you later that night and I'd be like, dude, she looked at me like I was a fucking waiter. Like at one point in time, she asked me if I could have more water.
Really?
Like, of course, that's what guys do. We
I don't do that.
Around. Of course you do.
No,
all the time. Stop it. Don't disagree to disagree.
I'm not disagreeing to disagree. If I'm sitting by somebody, it's a difference between self-deprecation and if I'm sitting by somebody and I don't really know this person. Mm-hmm. I say what's up to them and keep it moving, and they're in their phone or they're minding their business. I'm not thinking to myself, oh my God, she hates me, or this person hates me.
No, it's humor. Like this is. You have to look at it in terms of a joke. Like to me, I thought Lena was. I'm against what she said.
She did say that. She did say she was joking.
Yeah, it's a joke. But here's the thing. She lost that right to make that joke because Lena's the type of woman that will complain about sexual harassment. She'll complain about objectification of women, and she'll complain about all the things that she just did to Odell Beckham Jr. So my feeling is if you're going to take everybody else seriously when they do those things, then we have to take you seriously when you do those things.
Yeah, and I think
you could give everybody else the benefit of the doubt, and we can give you the benefit of the doubt. If Lena wasn't the type of person to hop on Twitter and talk about the objectification of women and yada, 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 I would love what she said. I'd be like, dude, that's fucking hilarious. This super attractive popular dude doesn't give you any love and you have a self-deprecating take on it. Hilarious.
Well, the problem with what Lena did is that it was, first of all, anything that's in the context of a transcript will be misconstrued. If you got something to say, you better say it on camera so everybody can see your facial expressions, so everybody can see that you're smiling, so everybody can see that you're being tongue-in-cheek, because when they read it...
They'll read it how they want you to say it.
Yeah, because it don't sound like a joke when you read it. I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about?
He looked at me like I was a marshmallow. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, but you know, like I told her, I said she's too hard on herself. She cares about the opinions of other people way too much. She's too in her head. People that are in their head constantly tend to get in their own way. And that's just all it boils down to.
Yes.
And I think that she's just too in her head.
Yeah.
She deals with her insecurity. And, you know, that's the other thing. Some people deal with their insecurities the best way they know how. Mm-hmm. Like Lena Dunham is dealing with her insecurities the best way she knows how. And the other thing we don't factor in with Lena Dunham, she's only 30, bro.
That's old enough.
It is, but then it's not.
30 is old enough. You got.
Hey man, some people don't figure it out till much later. Some people don't figure it out till they're 35. Some people it takes certain things for people to grow confidence and to grow self-esteem.
Agreed,
man.
but we can't be making excuses for a 30-year-old because they're not old enough.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying I can see where certain experiences she may be new to. Listen, Lena Dunham hasn't been a star for a long time. She put out Tiny Furniture 2011 maybe. So it's only 2016. Girls started in 2012.
Yeah.
So she hasn't been a star for a long time. So a lot of this stuff is new to her, and she's growing up in the social media era where she constantly is being bombarded with motherfuckers saying she look like a Twitter egg, and she's fucking like. I had to ask. I was like, yo, how do you ignore all of these black women come for Lena Dunham? Mm-hmm. I mean, they come for her. And she's like, I don't run my own account. She's just like, straight up, I just don't. She's like, I don't run my own account because and what she said was real, and I said this from the beginning. She said, if somebody comes to me with a clear, thought out, opinion of something, or something that's logical, or just something that's a productive conversation. Lena, I don't agree with what you're doing here. These are the reasons why. Yada, yada. She said, I'm more than happy to respond to that. Mm-hmm. But if you're like, I'm going to fuck your dad when I see you, fuck you, you piece of shit, you look how you look, like, who the fuck wants to have a conversation with somebody like that? But that's just with anybody. That has nothing to do with race. Yeah. That's just with people, period. Yeah. I'm not engaging in a conversation with you if that's how you come at me. Yeah. I'm just not doing it. First of all, you're not worthy of my conversation if that's how you come at me. Because if you're actually smart and you actually deal with logic, you're going to say, yo, man, I don't really agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, and these are the reasons why.
Those people don't want a conversation.
They don't want a conversation.
So then why would you have a conversation with someone who doesn't want one?
Exactly.
You ever try to have a conversation with one of those people? Like those people.
Yeah, I mean, I have, but it don't go right. Because listen.
They apologize. They go, hey, Charlamagne, you look like shit. I literally took a shit. I look just like you. Fuck you. And then you go, why do you think I look like that? And then they go, psych, just playing, yo. I'm a big fan, bro. I appreciate you, dog. I love you, man.
Or they be like, aha, you fell for that. I was just trying to get you to respond. Shut up.
Shut up, you fucking idiot. Why are you wasting both of our time?
Shut up. But another thing Lena said that was interesting to me, because I picked up on this as she was talking. I said to her, you say you're a feminist, which is strange because, feminists are against people who objectify women. But you talk like you want to be objectified just a little. And she goes, yeah. She goes, being a feminist is a contradiction because I can want equal pay, for women. I can, want us to be treated the same in the workplace. But every now and then I wouldn't mind if somebody go, you got a banging ass body. And I go, yeah, you say that now until you're walking down the street. And I'd be like, Lena, you got a fat ass. Mm-hmm. She goes, no, that wouldn't upset me. Now, if you was like, let me grab your fat ass or try to touch me, that's different. Yeah. And I'm like, wow. Because doesn't that kind of defeat the whole point of...
I mean, Charlamagne, you're not tall. Wouldn't you like a girl to be like, damn, you look tall?
No.
Yeah, of course you would.
I don't think no.
Yeah, or when somebody goes, hey, your skin looks great.
Yes.
You're used to not having good skin. So when someone goes, your skin looks great, it's nice. She's used to having a horrible body. So she would like someone to lie to her and tell her she has a nice body. That feels good.
I mean, we all have, I guess.
If a girl has a great body, she doesn't need some random person on the street to go, you got a great body. Yeah, she knows it.
Nah, she still want positive reinforcement. Don't get it fucked up. Girls don't get dressed up and hit the gym for no reason. Girls wear them shirts that show their cleavage for a reason, okay? They want some, if a girl puts on I don't care what they say. If you put on a nice dress, you want somebody to be like, oh, you look beautiful today. If you go get your hair done,
sure,
and you walk in, you want somebody to notice your hair and just be like, oh, I like your hair.
Sure.
Everybody wants positive reinforcement.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying people that don't get a lot of positive reinforcement are more willing to accept.
She did say that too. She said, she was like, if I'm working, on a TV set and somebody be like, oh, you're beautiful. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
She's like, that means a lot to her because she already knows she's smart. so it's like, she's, everybody always tells her, oh, you're smart, you're funny. I know that. Tell me something I haven't heard. I just thought it was an interesting conversation.
But here's my feeling. It's like if you want compliments about, I don't think she wants compliments about having a great body that much. Because if you wanted compliments about having a great body, you just go out there and have a great body.
Not if you're comfortable in the skin you're in.
Well, then she's not comfortable in the skin that she is if she's dying to have these compliments.
I think she's comfortable, but I just think some people want
I think she's accepting.
I think everybody wants positive reinforcement.
Look, everybody wants it, right? But my point is, it's not like having a great body and being in shape is something that she's incapable of doing, right? It's incapable of you. It's not possible for you to be 6'6", right? Yeah. It's not possible for me to be 6'6". Yeah. That's something that we cannot do. It is possible for you and I to get a 6-pack.
She's really not fat, though.
I didn't say she's fat.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is possible. That is something that she can change. That is a changeable thing on her. So I don't. If you really want it, you'll go do it, and if not, you won't do it, and it's fine either way.
I honestly don't think she's fat at all. Like, I'm trying to figure out where that comes from. I guess at one point she was really fat. Maybe I don't know.
She just has a peculiar typed body. It's just peculiar. Like, sometimes peculiar works out well. Serena Williams has a peculiarly shaped body.
Serena Williams' body is banging.
But it's peculiarly shaped in the best possible way.
Not to me. She looked like Serena Williams is a goddess, bro.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
I think about her in the shower often.
I bet you do, because you and her look alike, you narcissist.
I'm fine with that.
She's just jerking off to you.
She's beautiful. Serena's body is banging.
Yeah, okay.
I like athletic bodies anyway.
So do I.
When you have an athletic body with a fat ass, my God.
She's a great body. My point is, it's an outlier. Her body is not the norm, right? So Lena's body is also an outlier, but in more of a triangular shape.
I think Lena's body might be more of the norm than a Serena. I think it's more people that look like Lena Dunham out here than Serena. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just think that it's equally, maybe not equally, maybe Serena's even more unique, but I just think she has a peculiar shape. It's rare that you could be kind of like
peculiar.
Bigger with small
Okay,
tits.
no. Let's put this in context. I think when you say peculiar, I think you're probably saying peculiar for Hollywood, for celebrity maybe, but for the regular everyday person, absolutely not. That's why I think girls works. That's why I think people like Lena Dunham work. I think the average American sees themselves in somebody like Lena, and they're like, finally, somebody who, doesn't look like they stay in the gym 100 times a day.
Yeah, I think that's too simplistic. I think you're chalking up people's ability to relate to somebody simply based on their body. I think that people relate to Lena's mind. I think Lena is a talented person, and I think they relate to her talent, and they relate to her brain and these characters she's created. I think that her body is maybe one part of that, but I wouldn't chalk up the success to her show the fact that she looks like a triangle.
I think it does have something to do with that, because you look at a real beautiful person, right? Look at somebody like Beyonce.
Yeah.
Anytime Beyonce remotely tries to do anything regular, people that don't like, I give you a better example. For God bless Beyonce. Kim Kardashian, right? Kim Kardashian's rich.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. So being that she's rich and she's beautiful and a celebrity, she's incapable of going through real human things like getting robbed. So she gets robbed and nobody has any sympathy, no empathy. They're just like, fuck it, Kim, you got robbed. You can replace that $10 million.
Yeah.
You deserve it because you put your $4.5 million ring on Instagram. But if Kim was...
Welcome to being white, Charlamagne.
If Kim was regular,
you just described being white in society.
I don't think it has nothing to do with being white.
Oh, you're white. You got shot by the cops. Nobody gives a fuck.
Stop it with these. You do this.
You know it.
No, it's
not.
You
know, white kid, 6 years old. Video comes out, gets shot by the cops. Nobody fucking cares.
That's not true.
Charlamagne.
Schultz, I keep telling you this over and over. Just like you didn't know Jazzy Jeff was an icon, just because you didn't see it. That shit was headline news for 48 hours straight. No. And that's a year-old case, by the way.
24 hours. So, but let's go back to Kim. Your point about Kim.
Yes, my point about Kim is, if Kim was just some regular-looking woman who didn't floss her celebrity, who didn't post her riches on Instagram, if she didn't show us her rich, lavish life, people would have sympathy if she got robbed.
If she was ugly.
Or they might not even care at all.
How are you going to rob an ugly person? That's what they say.
But that's what I'm saying.
They've been robbed.
People feel like they can't even relate to Kim. This is my thing when it comes to that.
Because they can't relate to Kim.
Why? But you can relate to getting robbed? This is my thing.
No, you can't relate to getting robbed for $10 million. I've been robbed for a North Face.
But it don't matter.
Being robbed for a North Face is a lot different than $10 million.
It's really not. It don't matter the amount of money. If somebody throws a gun in your face, ties you up, duct tapes you, you're traumatized.
She got duct tape.
Hell yeah, they duct taped your mouth. You're traumatized. It don't matter what you got robbed for.
I've been wanting someone to duct tape her mouth for fucking 5 years, maybe even 10.
Listen, I know you're trying to make jokes about this situation, but this is my thing. A, would you want it to happen to you? B, would you want it to happen to somebody you love?
Look, I've been robbed.
Your mom comes to you and says she just got duct taped, tied up, and they robbed the house. You had a gun in your face.
Look, I've been robbed before.
She had a gun in her face.
Actually, I didn't have. I've had a gun pulled on me, but I haven't been robbed with the gun pulled on me. But I've been robbed with a weapon, and I think it's a very good experience to have.
Nah.
I really think it's a growing experience. I think everybody should get robbed. I really do, because it changes your perception. Have you been robbed before?
No, but I've had a gun on my face.
But you've never been robbed?
No.
Okay, so being robbed changes your perception of ownership, right? Like, before I was robbed, I thought when I owned something, it was just mine for always, right? Once you get robbed, you realize you only own shit as long as somebody isn't willing to risk, time in jail to take it from you.
Yeah, but that's wrong.
Just because it's wrong doesn't mean it's not the reality of the world.
That's the problem that I have with this whole Kim K situation. Like, when you say things like she shouldn't post stuff on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Now do I agree that entices the wolves? Yeah, but if I'm living my life,
no.
If I'm working hard for what I have earned, I should be able to post it, and that doesn't give somebody the right to violate me and take it.
I'll give you a perfect example of that. Just because you're dressed like a slut doesn't mean someone's allowed to rape you.
Exactly.
Right? So just because you wear a diamond ring doesn't mean someone's allowed to rob you. It's the exact same equation. So if you're a woman, right, or a man that's out there right now saying that Kim K in some way deserved or asked to be robbed,
something's wrong with you.
Then you think that women who dress slutty deserve or asked to be raped. That is the exact same equation.
And somebody is out there right now saying, no, it's not the same thing. But no, this is one of those times Andrew is right.
Idiots.
It is. Okay. And I don't understand how you don't have, first of all, I'm a husband. I'm a father. That's got to be top 3 worst things you could hear. That's why Kanye abruptly stopped his motherfucking show and was like, what? You're fucking all the way across the pond. Your wife is in Paris, and you get a call that she just got duct taped.
How did he find out while he was on stage?
What do you mean?
Like, how did he find out?
His manager came to the side and was kind of trying to call him. If you watch the video, he was kind of like brushing his manager off, but then he finally went over to see what the fuck was going on because he knew it was an emergency. That shit got to be top 3 worst things you could motherfucking hear.
Yeah.
Period.
That's frightening.
And she's
vulnerable.
And she's going to be traumatized because she's going to be thinking about everything that could have possibly happened. The best case scenario in that situation is what happened. The jewelry got taken. They left it there and kept it moving. They could have raped her. They could have killed her.
Yeah.
Shot her. Anything. Like, that's the worst possible scenario that could have happened. Yeah. They just took the jewelry and kept it the fuck moving. Personally, I just don't feel how people can't have sympathy and empathy for that situation. I don't give a fuck that Kim's Armenian. I don't give a fuck that she's rich. I don't give a fuck that she's a celebrity. My gauge is simple. Yeah. A, would I want that to happen to me? B, would I want that to happen to somebody I love? If the answer is no, then shut the fuck up forever.
Yeah.
And stop trying to make jokes about other people's misfortune.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't have empathy for people that are doing better than them. I think that's really what it comes down
to.
Yeah.
That's the truth, man. Like, that's it. So Lena Dunham, going back to that, people will gravitate towards her more because they don't feel threatened by her.
Of course. But that's women.
No matter how smart she is, no matter how funny she is. Oh, I know.
Women hate anybody better looking than them. That's like, if you look at one of the most popular shows on television ever for women, it was Friends. Remember Friends?
Yeah.
Not a single one of those chicks on Friends is like a drop-dead gorgeous model.
Yeah.
Right? So like, even Jennifer Aniston, who is like the best-looking one on the show, we've kind of inflated how beautiful she is over the years. Like, I think she was a pretty girl, but she's not Giselle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? She's not fucking Tyra in her heyday, right? Yeah. She's a pretty regular but attractive girl. And it really, I think, comes down to women do not like watching women who are better looking than them. And when they do watch them, they have to watch to hate them. We know all these women who watch the Kardashians. I know so many women who watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians and all these shows.
Yes.
And they watch them hating. They
women
go,
are very
Kim is
catty,
so
bro.
stupid. Kim is so dumb. Fuck Kim, this, that, the other. I don't watch LeBron hating on him. I watch LeBron celebrate it. I go, fuck, this guy's incredible, right? Yeah. I look up to these people, these men that are better than me at things that I want to be good at.
But even if you do hate on LeBron, you know where that hate stems from. That hate stems from because you are amazed at his talent. In a lot of ways, you want to be him. Like, that's the thing about jealousy and envy. It destroys from within.
It destroys from within. But I feel like men have a better ability to accept. Like, I know this person is better than me at basketball. I'm not going to deny that. And I'll sit there and admit it, and I will appreciate that ability.
I know why I don't appreciate. Listen, I appreciate LeBron's talent, but I can tell you exactly why I don't fuck with LeBron like that.
Okay.
Because I'm a Michael Jordan guy. So it's like, stop acting like this guy is on the level of my guy. Like, it's just that simple.
So exactly. Now here's the difference, because women won't go, I don't like Kim because I like
Beyonce.
Demi Lovato or Beyonce.
Yeah.
Right? They won't do it. They'll be like, fuck all of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Fuck all those bitches.
She's stupid. She's famous for nothing.
Exactly. She's stupid. Yeah. Exactly. So you need to hate. You need to, and this is the bullshit that comes, and then for some reason it comes back on men. Like we've created this weird patriarchy where like we make women hate each other. No. Stop fucking hating on each other for 2 seconds.
Yeah, don't
stop it.
Don't use what men desire or what men like as an excuse to hate other women.
Of course.
Right?
Dude, you judge each other more on your looks than us.
I can be sitting there. First of all, I love doing this, by the way. I love pissing people off. I love pissing girls off when I'm having conversations about like Bernice Burgos or Tory Bricks.
Yeah.
You know, Amber Rose, these beautiful women with these nice ass bodies who making all of this money right now hosting these parties.
Yeah.
I love having these conversations around girls who don't have the surgery and aren't making that kind of money. And then they'd be like, it ain't real though. So
I do this with Carly every time we hang out. She'll bring up somebody and I'll be like, yeah, dude, like let's say somebody with, or even Kylie, right? She'll bring up Kylie. And I'd be like, yeah, but her lips are incredible. She's like, you know, those are fake lips.
So?
And I'll go, no, they're not. And she'll go, they're absolutely fake. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Don't do that. You do even better go, so? See, doctor, you did a great job.
Here's the thing. If you go if you act like you don't know, they get infuriated because they're like, wait a minute. All these guys think that this woman's just naturally better looking than me.
Yeah.
I can accept that she's prettier if she's fake.
Yeah.
I can't accept that she's prettier if she's real.
See, I like it better when you say so, because if you see a girl, right, and she ain't got no ass, no titties, and you hating on the girl that got ass and titties, how about get some heart and go get you some ass and titties?
So when I tell Lena Dunham to lose weight, you're like, I don't get it. But when you say him to Chris, what's up, man?
Lena Dunham losing weight, I don't think Lena Dunham losing weight is not going to do the trick. Like she talked about, you know, did she think, at one point she thought she needed to get ass shots because she didn't know that was a thing. Like she found out those asses weren't real. She's like, I can do that? Like she thought about it. But I'm like, yo, you wouldn't even look right.
No.
Like Lena wouldn't look right with Iggy Azalea's ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing I never understand about women is like, why can't you just why is being smart or being talented not enough? Why do we force women to be smart, talented, and beautiful, right? Like, let me finish the point. Like, for example, LeBron is talented, right? And that's enough. I don't have to go, LeBron is so talented and handsome. Oh, God, isn't he handsome?
It is a plus when they're smart, too, though. I'm not going to front.
But for me, I
like seeing those guys that have that, like, skill. Like Jay-Z's a great rapper, but what we really love Jay-Z for is his business acumen.
Sure. But my point is, what I'm talking about with just physicality, right? It's like I can appreciate a woman for being a brilliant businesswoman or a smart and talented entertainer without her being good. Like Lena Dunham, to me, doesn't need to be a 10. She doesn't need a fake ass. She doesn't need fake tits.
Yeah.
She can create art that is good, and that's enough. But for some reason...
Is it enough to get a man? I mean, she got a boyfriend, but is it enough?
Let me ask you a question, though.
Yeah.
When you meet a woman for the first time, not in your family, from 20 to 60, what's the first thing you assess her on?
Feet.
Bullshit.
That's still a physical feature, though. Even if
I go face, then feet, and then I move myself up.
Feet is still a physical
What's
feature.
the first question you ask yourself?
Would I fuck this girl?
That's why they all care about the physicality, because that's the first thing you automatically go to.
So why is my validation more important to you than your own?
I mean, if you're going to say women,
like you're going to validate yourself by if I want to fuck you or not.
Because when society is throwing that,
how about I want to have a conversation with you?
That's true. The
Chris,
moment you're born.
How about I want to have a conversation with you? How about I want to build with you? When I go and meet a guy, right? When I go meet Charlemagne, I'm not sitting here going, "Do I want to fuck him?" Nah.
Yeah, and that gives him the freedom.
No. I go this. I go, hey, this is somebody who I really respect and I think is really talented, and I'd like to build with this person. I'd like to create a relationship that is based on our thoughts and ideas and currency and thoughts and ideas.
Yeah.
And when women start valuing themselves by their thoughts and ideas, all of a sudden they'll see the value in that. If they only value themselves,
that can't get you no dick, though.
Do you say what?
You think that can't get you no dick.
Dick is purchasable. Go purchase you some dick. We've been buying pussy for generations.
But it's a double standard because a man, I can get pussy with my thoughts and ideas no matter how I look.
Yeah.
Woman can have the greatest thoughts and ideas. I'm like, yo, man, you know, can I get you a number? I really like to keep conversation.
Hell no.
Some friendship, you know what I'm
Hell
saying?
no. But if she goes, I'll give you 1,000 for some dick, I'll be like, girl, 500.
Listen, man,
I'll knock the dust off for 500.
the bottom line is
easy.
If women have a crab in the barrel mentality, which is what you're saying, right?
Greg.
Greg. Here you go, Greg.
We gotta stop rewarding barrel. We really gotta stop rewarding this shit.
Who built the barrel?
Say again?
If women have a crab in the barrel mentality, which is basically what you're saying in essence, they pull each other down. Who built the fucking barrel? Men created that shit.
Why? Why did men create it?
Because what we just got back to, they've historically tried to keep women.
By the way, God created that. I don't know if you believe in that guy. Whoever you believe in, okay. Well, whatever you believe in, whatever creator, he created that. You know why? Because he created beautiful women and he created ugly women. It ain't my fault what I'm attracted to. I'm sorry.
Also, if you're a fat girl, go to a part of the world where fat is in. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are parts of the world where being fat is actually looked at as attractive. You go to starving countries where everybody's skinny. You go be the fat bitch. You're fucking the queen.
Why don't you?
You're the queen.
Attractive.
Say again.
So
they don't call her a fat bitch. Schultz.
I didn't call Lena a fat bitch.
I know, but you said
you
fat
just
bitch. First, that's a double negative.
What do you mean?
She's already fat. Don't call her a bitch too. Jesus Christ,
bitches
man.
Can be skinny, bro.
God damn. Well, that's fine. Pretty bitch.
Pretty ass bitch.
Nobody's mad about pretty bitch.
Pretty ass bitch.
Pretty bitch. Oh, you're pretty bitch. Nobody's mad about
gorgeous
that.
Ass bitch.
You're pretty, so the pretty fucking trumps the bitch.
You can call a girl a bitch as long as there's a compliment before.
There you go.
What's your little skinny ass legs?
There you go.
Bitch.
Oh, thick ass bitch.
Thick ass bitch.
Look at you, old smart ass bitch.
Perfect ass body ass bitch.
As soon as you start saying ugly ass bitch. Fat. Yo, that's real. Think about it. You could be like, you successful ass bitch. You be like, you ugly ass, fat ass bitch.
Whoa! How dare you call me a bitch? That is a female dog. That is wrong to talk to me in such ways.
Hey, man. That's the way the world works, man.
But, Chris, you're trying to blame men for the situation women are in, etc. I think it's nonsense.
How is it nonsense?
Just get off your ass and fucking do something.
It ain't that easy.
It is that easy.
It's not that easy.
My mom is an immigrant who stopped going to school at 15 years old, came to America. Okay. My dad is an American. What that got
to do with how your mama ass looked?
Listen, my mom got flat ass, boy.
Okay.
Flat ass and no lips.
To do with how your mama
flat ass and no lips.
Listen, at the end of the day, is she fuckable? That's how women are.
My mom was fuckable back in the day.
Props to your mother, but
let me make my point. Let me make my
She's
point.
An outlier.
15 years old.
Yeah.
Right. Came to America. Okay. No education. My dad is born and raised in New York. Came from money. Went to college back in the day when not that many people went to college. My dad ends up working for my mom. Okay. So
he started fucking his boss.
He was smashing it.
Wow, so he fucking thought.
My dad is an instant thought for real.
Your dad fucked the boss.
Absolutely, he needed that security.
Job security, baby.
Hey, son, not only did he fuck his boss, before that, when my mom and dad got together, like official about to get married, my mom had the apartment. My dad moved up.
Oh, so your mom was in the position of power.
My mom was, but here's the thing. I'll be dead ass with you. All this like social justice warriors and like these like feminists right now who talk about how horrible it is to be a woman, I never thought it was bad to be a woman until the internet. My whole life, my only view of women, right, was my mom is a boss. My mom does whatever the fuck she wants. My mom came from nothing, like dirt poor, and built herself fucking wealth in America, right? In my mind, women could do anything.
But you got to think about
it. Wasn't until I heard on the internet constantly every single day how horrible it is to be a woman, and women allegedly make 30% less, which is nonsense. Women eventually, women 18 to 34 in America make more than men. I just want to point that out. And you look that statistic up anywhere. No reputable economist will support this idea that there is a wage gap, by the way. But ridiculous. So it wasn't until
I've never heard that.
It wasn't until I literally got on the internet that I realized that it's, I guess, allegedly horrible to be a
blind.
Woman. Say again?
You grew up blind.
Yeah, women have definitely been oppressed in America.
The world.
The world, yeah.
They have it the best.
I think they've had it really good.
Nah. I mean, of course, they've been oppressed all over the world. I mean, because you can go to Muslim countries.
Charlamagne, you think your mother, how long did she work as a teacher?
30 plus years and only made $30,000 a year.
Maybe she should be better
Absolutely
at teaching.
Right.
No, maybe your mom should get a little better at teaching, bro.
You got to think, women couldn't vote at one point. Women were regulated to the motherfucking kitchen and had to be housewives.
Why are we acting like that's bad?
It is bad if you want to do more with your life.
So women were cooking while men were at war, fighting in a fucking trench.
Yeah.
There was a whole movie called A League of Their Own where women were brave for playing baseball while men were fighting a war in a fucking trench. Yeah, who the fuck is the brave one? Yes, I'd rather throw around a baseball than be in a fucking trench.
There's nothing wrong with that if you allow me to do more than be in the kitchen.
Who's saying you can't?
They weren't letting them.
Here's my point. Everybody brings up this argument about matriarchal societies, right? Aren't there matriarchal societies, and haven't there been throughout history?
You're the same guy who got on this podcast and said that you feel bad for Muslim women because they're oppressed. You said that.
Of course I do. Obviously, who wouldn't? We're not talking about Muslim women in a country where they're forced to wear fucking garbage bags and they can't even have opinions.
Oppression is oppression. In America, women couldn't vote at one point.
This is what I'm talking about, America right now. This is, first of all, how you know women got it good in America right now. There are men changing into women. It doesn't get better. It must be good to be a woman in America if men are going, shit, I want to try this out.
I'm not with you. I'm not with any of these people on the, women have it bad.
Women have it better.
No, but I will say women have definitely been oppressed.
Let me ask you, no, we're talking right now. We're not going to bring this history. Do you think in Afghanistan there are men that are changing into women?
No.
They might feel something different inside. Then they look at a woman.
Keep that inner Caitlyn tucked.
Because they're looking at women in their country and they're going, oh shit, I got to wear a garbage bag. I'm not allowed to have an opinion.
No, because they'll
I can't
get
fucking
killed.
Drive. I don't feel like that.
No, because they'll get killed if they come out and say, I feel like a woman.
They see the way women live there. They see the way women live there, right? Mm-hmm. And they go, I don't feel like that inside, so I must not be a woman. In America, there are men who see the way women can live. They can have opinions. They can fucking run businesses. They can do whatever they want. They can have this equality. They can vote. They can choose what they want to do with their bodies.
Yeah, but now.
And they go, you know what? I've been feeling like that my whole life inside. Oh, I feel like a woman. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but to act like women have not been oppressed in our society.
Who said they haven't?
They definitely have.
Who said they haven't? When did I say that?
And I'm going to tell you where else women fall short. Physically, men can always take advantage of women. That's just the way nature is. They can always get beat up. They can always get raped, assaulted, whatever it is. And there definitely is a wage gap. It just is.
There's no wage gap.
There's definitely a wage gap.
Why? Why is there a wage gap?
Because there is.
You're right. There is a wage gap. It's that women 18 to 34 make more than men. That's the wage gap.
I don't know if that statistic is true, but there's definitely a wage gap.
I'm just telling you, look, you cannot find a reputable economist that will say that the wage gap is real. Now, there might be.
So who are Susie Orman and all of these people? Who are these economists that come on TV and talk about the wage gap? It's completely
nonsense because they're not taking into account for women choosing majors that end up in lower paying jobs. They're not counting for women having children and having to leave the workforce during their children.
So you're saying that women get equal pay as men across the board in every industry?
No, make more 18 to 34 in the same jobs. Women make more 18 to 34 in the same jobs.
Do you think women have the same chance for advancement in an organization that men do?
It depends on what the organization is.
Let's say it's a law firm. You think a woman lawyer has the same chance to advance as a male lawyer does?
I don't see why she wouldn't.
Because most of the people doing the hiring and the promotions are male, and there's a fucking buddy system.
It is.
Sure. And then, okay, do you think that a male and a female have the same advancement in the service industry, for example? You think it's as easy as a guy to get a job as a waiter as it is for a woman?
I mean, it's apples and oranges, man.
Is it not a fucking job, Chris?
I mean, listen,
are you out of your mind? You think there's
a lesser job.
Where are the male bottle service guys? Where are the guys walking around with fucking sparklers in a cute-ass outfit?
They're busy being security. All right? The fuck are you talking about? They're busy protecting the bartenders from the guy, the bottle girls who get their asses
$200 a night. They get $200 a night while these girls make $3,000 a fucking weekend.
Hey, pretty girl privilege. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and ever say that it's bad to be a woman. Because I feel like women are protected. Women are provided for. Like, I can't sit around and, just live off a woman.
Dude, it is.
You know what I mean? I can't do that.
Think about it. Look what we have currently in society. Because I honestly.
Yeah, your dad did.
My dad killed it. I honestly feel bad for young women. I feel bad for young women because they're forced to live with these beta males, like these emasculated, balls clipped off beta males who all they do is sit at home, fucking play video games all day. They got no drive, no fucking hunger to be anything like that. They don't open doors for women. They don't feel a need to protect women. Like, I speak to these women who live in Williamsburg in these like progressive fucking areas and that kind of shit like that, and they're like, dude, it's awful. The guys don't even. They literally, they say this, they literally treat us like equals.
You know why?
They can't open a fucking door.
Lena Dunham's boyfriend, Jack, Lena told us this story. She said when they first started dating, he was like, I'm not going to open the door for you because you're a feminist. And truthfully speaking, when you claim to be a feminist and when you claim to be independent, and when you try to open the door for one of these women, I've had this happen. I don't need you to open the door for me. Damn, my bad.
Have you ever watched her trying to open the door on a windy day?
Who?
A woman.
I've never paid attention. But my point is,
today this girl almost broke her heel.
But like when you like when you're on the airplane and you see a woman struggling with her luggage, let me help you with that. I don't need your help. Like, damn, my bad. So once you get that a couple times, you probably will fall back and be like, all right, well, fine. You know what I mean? I'm not going to open the door for you this time. I'm not going to offer to lift this girl's luggage and put it up on the airport.
You got to do it. I understand what you're saying when you get that pushback, right? You're like, you're training me to not treat you a certain way. But here's the reality. If I saw a little man on the plane that was struggling to put his luggage up,
I'm going to
help him. So if your strength and size is equivalent to that of a little man, why should I not help you to prove to you that you're equal?
Listen, forget the strength part. We can take the strength part out of it. I just feel like that's what men are supposed to do to women.
Absolutely.
That's the chivalry is not dead. You're supposed to be cordial. My mother, my grandmother, that's how they raised me.
Yes, we should absolutely.
Sorry.
Look, I don't care if you call me a fucking sexist. I will, if I see a woman in trouble, I will fucking protect her.
As you should.
In a heartbeat. Me and my boys have chased people down the street that have been a little rough with their girlfriends and that kind of shit like that. That's a natural reaction that we should all fucking have.
It don't look. Right? I like what you said. It's a natural reaction. If you
there.
see a woman getting roughed up by a man, it doesn't feel right.
It's not right.
It's not right.
Yo, what's up,
bro?
What's up,
man? Yo, what you doing? Like something. You got to say something to him.
Anything, dude. But that's a natural reaction we have. And I'm telling you, these young fucking 20-year-olds, these young kids, males, don't have that same instinct inside them. And I think that they're growing up with this mentality of what it is to be a man in the future. And I honestly think it's something, and I'm concerned for women because I think it's something that some women are asking for, but deep down they don't want.
What do you mean?
I think they're asking for this type of male. I don't want you to open the door for me. You don't need to protect me.
No, I think I think some women are subconsciously creating this kind of male.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That asking for it, creating whatever.
Yeah.
But my point is, deep down, you don't want that. I think deep down, you want a man that's going to provide security for you. You want a man, not financial only, but also physical security. Like, I'm sorry, if you're saying something crazy to my girl, I'm knocking you out.
I will say a lot of men, in our society have caused women to have to be the independent beings that they are. Because a lot of men just aren't successful. A lot of men are sitting at home playing goddamn Xbox and PlayStation, watching Netflix, not doing shit. So these women are forced to go out there and get it on their own.
As they should. My feeling is this, right? I'm not saying you should. I grew up with an independent mother, right? So my expectation of women is to be independent, to be bosses, to be empowered. Like that's what I assume a woman is, right? Anything less than that is disappointing to me. I'm like, what do you mean? You just sit on your ass all day? Go fucking do something. Right?
I feel like that with anybody though.
Absolutely,
male or female.
Absolutely, I'm with you.
Specifically, more male.
Sure. Absolutely. There's more
I hate a no good nigga. I can't stand it.
By
nigga I mean black, white, Spanish, Jewish, whatever.
Anybody.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is I think right now we've created this society where like men are still somewhat expected to maintain our 50% of chivalry, right?
Yeah.
Like I still, to a certain extent, should open doors. I should protect you. I should more or less provide for you. I should do these things, which I want to do. It is in me to do that. When I start liking a girl, I want to get her shit. When I start liking a girl, I want to let her know she's protected. I want to. That's
what a man's job is.
That's inside us.
Quote it. You know what I used to tell them Dominican.
Protect them.
What's my job, mommy?
To protect and provide.
That's it. That's what a man's job is.
So here's my question, right? So that we still have to hold up our end of the bargain in chivalry, right? But now in 2016, women don't have to hold up their half.
What's their half though?
Now we have to figure that out.
A woman's. This is what a woman's half is to me.
Tell me.
This is just me, Charlamagne, the guy talking. All I want a woman to do is be a woman.
Now, what is that?
I don't know. I'm be honest with you.
See,
I'm not looking for anything. Women are beautiful, man. Women are great creatures. I feel like God put women here to be just our counterparts in everything that we do. I just love women. All I want from a woman is a conversation and a good meal. That's it.
So here's
I don't act like my wife has always been independent. She's got master's degrees and all that. She does her personal training. So maybe I'm just spoiled because I just feel like all right, forget male, female for a second. This is a human being. We all should be trying to realize our full potential on this planet. Nobody should be sitting around doing anything. So when my woman is just doing what she's supposed to do, I can't give you props for what she's supposed to do. Yeah, you're supposed to go to school. You're supposed to get a job. You're supposed to make something of yourself. That's just what you're supposed to do. So when she's already doing that, only thing I want is to be a woman. Now, what turns me off is when I see a woman not doing anything and they expect
you to do something.
Oh, when they expect it, I don't like that.
And that's what I'm talking about right now. That's the conflict that we have right now, right? Is I think there's certain women, and again, remember, how you feel about somebody is based on your expectation of them, right? How you feel about women is based on what you expect from them. So if you expect your wife to go to school, you expect your wife to have her own business, you expect your wife to do something with her day and get a job and work, that shows how you feel women are. That shows in your head.
Not even just women, humans.
But right now we're just talking about women. That means in your head, the expectation of women is they should fucking be productive members of society.
Yes.
Right?
And not be on fucking Instagram selling flat tummy tea for $100 a post.
Fucking exactly.
I hate that shit, bro.
But so that's what I'm saying. So when I have that same expectation of women, I expect my girl to have a job. I expect her to have passions. I expect her to have a career, and I expect her to have goals and ambition. That's because that's what I know women are capable of. When you have guys that are like, I just want a woman to fucking cook and clean, that's it.
That's some stereotypical
nothing.
shit. Nah, for real, that's some
They expect nothing.
They don't expect nothing. They expect you to just be what the stereotypical definition of a woman is.
It's soft bigotry. It's the same shit you look at. It's the same shit you look at with black people, right? Like when that white guy that's never hung around black people and he hangs around you, and all of a sudden he goes, "Wow, you're so eloquent.
Yeah, you can read.
You can talk well. Wow." It's because in his fucking mind, even though he doesn't know it, his expectation is low for black people. So when you exceed that, it's shocking, right? When I see a black person use fucking big words, I'm not going, "Oh my god, you guys can talk with big words."
You know what? I don't even know.
That's the expectation.
I don't even know if the expectation is low. I just think that when you're used to dealing with a certain type of person, you're judging everybody based off those people that you're dealing with. So like say if you work at MTV,
speak on it,
and all you hang around is rappers all day.
Speak on it.
You expect them to come in smelling like weed. You expect them to take forever to read the teleprompter.
Right.
You expect them to be difficult. You expect all of that. So when somebody comes in who may look like a rapper, but is the total opposite of all those things,
shocking to you.
You're shocked. You're like, oh. Because you had an expectation. I wouldn't call it a low expectation. You just had an expectation of what you think a person is.
Okay, and now flip it for women. When you grow up in a household where your mother worked for 30 plus years, she's an intellectual, she's an educator, all of a sudden your expectation of women is, what do you mean you didn't go to college? What? What do you mean? What do you mean you don't have a job? What do you mean you don't have career? You don't have ambition? Like, what do you mean? Like, so for me, when I'm, let's say, somewhat critical, you could argue, of women, I'm critical because you're not meeting the standard that I expect of you.
I'm just critical.
My expectation of you is that you're a boss. My expectation of you is that you have your own business, or you can create whatever the fuck you want to create, and there's nothing that can stop you, because that's what I grew up with in my family. So when I hear this language like someone's holding you down, I go, my mom stopped going to school at 15. Listen, she's from Scotland. What's holding you back? You went to college.
I have a wide range of women in my life. And, being that I have two daughters, I always think about who would I absolutely not mind my daughters being around or seeing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's certain women who are out here getting money. You know what I mean? They're hustling, the Instagram models, the Bernices, the Tory Brooks, the Amber Rose has got $8 million to go around and talk about fucking sex.
Yeah.
I respect the hustle. We all respect somebody that's getting money in a capitalist society. Do your thing. Okay. But that's not what I would want my daughter to be. Now, my women that I would want my daughter to be, like if you went down that road, Zuri Hall.
Beautiful.
Karen Civil. Somebody like Dolly who works at MTV. Like, these are great, virtuous women who I respect. Lena Dunham.
Great example.
Smart, intelligent. Like, that's what I want. I want you to use your brain in order to get by. You know why? Looks fade.
And
I don't give a fuck how pretty you are now. Looks fade.
Brains grow.
You can make money forever. And Lena Dunham will make money forever.
That's the thing for me with Lena is like, I might not agree with all the things that she says, right? I might not agree with all of her arguments. that she makes, maybe about gender and sexuality and objectification, but her, without any public speaking, just her as a person and as an entertainer, has done so much for women. Because
I think so.
You just look at what she's created, and a young girl goes, "Oh shit, I can tell my story, and people will be interested in it if it's good and well written, and these characters are interesting." So to me, I look at your work as the perfect argument for feminism, right? Like, in my opinion, you're entitled to say whatever you want, but like, you don't even need to say shit after what you've done. You've created, like, you are feminism. You broke the glass ceiling.
You've done things men haven't done.
What'd you say?
You've done things men haven't
done.
How many men got a hit show?
Larry fucking David.
Oh, first of all, nobody can ever question what Lena Dunham's done for women. She had a hit show called Girls.
Indisputable. Undisputable.
Whether it was black girls, white girls,
it was just
whatever,
girls.
It was girls.
And it was girl stories. And it was talking about girl issues.
Yeah.
And it was and it made it in a funny way where men and women watched. You can't knock it whatsoever. I guess we're just at this point where, we're sitting here and we're going, I know I got to uphold these certain things when it comes to chivalry. And I want to know, I just don't understand why I feel like women are rejecting. Like, I hear more and more women saying, I don't cook. I would never do that. I don't clean.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
First of all, it's nothing wrong with that, but you shouldn't be proud. Like, I almost feel like women are becoming the men that they've always called douchebags.
No, I think that women are rebelling.
Check it, right? But just check this idea.
I think everybody's rebelling.
But here, check this idea. For years in movies, right? The male that you hated was the guy who was fucking lazy.
Yep.
The women hated was the guy who's lazy, right?
Yep.
Slept around all the time, right? He was a hoe. He didn't call you back, right? His house was a mess. He never cleaned. Doesn't know how to fucking cook or take care of himself, right? And now, what do you see as part of like I don't want to say feminist manifesto, but like, what do you see as a source of pride for some women? Women are like, hey, it's my body. I'll sleep with whoever the fuck I want. And I don't have to call these motherfuckers back. You know what I mean? I might just go get some dick and then that's it.
Stop being like men, yo. Y'all
Stop
better
being
than
the
us.
men you hate. Yeah. You're not only, if you want to be like men, be like Elon Musk. Be like fucking Steve Jobs. Don't be the frat boy beer pong players that you've criticized for fucking years.
Listen, I hate when women use that as a source of empowerment. Like it has to be more than just physical. Like, I hate when women say, I can fuck who I want to fuck and sleep with who I want to sleep with because it's my body. And like that doesn't empower you. Like, to me, like, I don't look at that as a source of empowerment. I don't look at the girls that I have sex with as a source of empowerment. Yeah. Empowerment is what I do every day with my career. What am I doing to better myself? Yeah. What am I doing to better other people around me?
Exactly.
My empowerment is not based in my penis, so don't let your empowerment be based in your pussy.
Absolutely not. If 6 guys run a train on you, afterwards you go, man, I feel empowered.
No.
Fuck no.
Actually, if 6 guys run a train on you, you shouldn't be able to talk. Okay, all right. I'm questioning each dick that was in that train if they don't fuck the shit out of you to the point where you're not just laying there in a pool of semen and sweat, looking up at the ceiling, a little bit of blood, saying, "What the fuck just happened to me?" Okay, let's pay some bills because I gotta pee. All right, we'd like to thank Beachbody On Demand. For sponsoring this week's episode of Brilliant Idiots. Summer's over, and for some of us that meant days on the beach soaking up sunlight, swimming in cool waters with a lady with cute toes, but maybe you didn't feel beach ready. Don't let that happen again. Beachbody On Demand gives you the keys to turn your fitness goals into results. Stream hundreds of workouts from programs that are proven to deliver amazing results, created by world-class super trainers, cardio, weight training, yoga, low impact, even dance. I'm gonna go pee.
Do your thing, okay? I'm telling you, I've been on this Beachbody. I'm not gonna lie, I'm on point. I wish that the ad came in May, to be honest, so I'd be ready for summer, because I feel like I was a little bit soft in the summer and I could have tightened it up. But right now it's on point, and a girl's really gonna come up when she sees this, because I wear a lot of baggier clothing, I wear sweatshirts and that kind of stuff. But underneath, it's chiseled the fuck up. Okay, it's not a game. This shit is always with you. I'm on the road. Okay, I can't be in the city all the time. I'm not going to have the exact gym that I need to do a workout every single time. But these links, I know exactly what I can do. I can bust this shit out. If I need to, I bust it out in the fucking hotel room. You know, this is the thing about this Beachbody On Demand. If you're someone who's got to be mobile, right? You're someone who's not going to know the equipment that you're going to need in every different city that you're in, you get on Beachbody On Demand. If you want to have the abs that are about to shut shit down, like basically what I've been working with, get yourself on Beachbody On Demand, okay? You thought the hezzy was a problem before. I wasn't even in tip-top shape. I really wasn't. Now, Oh my God, I'm coming for you. I'm really coming for you, motherfuckers. It is scary. It really is scary. So basically, the reality is this. Our listeners can claim a 30-day membership. Just text the word idiots to 303030, and you'll get a full 30 days access to this entire platform for free. No money. Just text 303030. You get no money. You get abs. Abs for free. Okay? Decide, commit, and succeed with Beachbody On Demand. Okay, this weekend, the Hesitation Tour is coming to Boston. I'll be at Laughed Boston the 7th and the 8th of October with my boy Chris Scopo is going to come with me. We could also call this the Joe Vesey Stole Our Show weekend. The October 14th and 15th, I'm going to be back in New York, NYC shows. 2 days, 5 shows, Gotham Comedy Club. Make sure you're there. That's going to be crazy. I do once a year, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And then the October 21st and 22nd, I'm going to be in Nashville at Zany's. The 2nd of November, I'm going to be in Houston at the Houston Improv. And then I'm going to be in my favorite city, Philadelphia, January 19th through 21st, okay? Hopefully I don't get broken down. Hopefully the city doesn't get broken down. I would like to mention that the last time I was in Philly, what happened? The lights went out. Okay, the lights went out. The electricity went off in the comedy club. Why? Because everything breaks in Philly, including most people's feet. Oh, also, I got a Toronto show on the 10th of what's it called? December. But when tickets are available for that, I'll let everybody know. Thank you guys so much. Back to the show. Hello, Charlamagne. That was great timing. Your pee was great timing. You didn't even need to stop.
Oh, my scream is amazing.
You had a good stream?
Oh, I got a great scream. Listen, salute the Birth of a Nation, man. It's out in theaters now. It's out in theaters tonight.
Did you see the review that the New Yorker?
That was bullshit, man.
What was that about?
It was about Nate Parker having a rape case back in the day, and the guy who did the review can't separate the two. That's exactly what that was about. That article pissed me off so bad because he was not being objective at all. It was like, Birth of a Nation is not worth the defense. That was the headline. Birth of the Nation is not worth the defense.
Can I speak on that for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my issue with that. You're basically saying that there is a movie good enough to rape somebody. Right? Like, isn't that what that headline is? That's like
exactly what that headline
is. The movie was good. It just wasn't good enough to rape a girl.
It wasn't good enough to rape a girl.
And then she kills herself. Right? Like I want to ask that. I want to ask the writer of that article, what movie is good enough to rape a girl and then she kills herself? Because I want to see that movie. I cannot wait to see the rape a girl and then she kills herself. Good. Like, I've heard 2 thumbs up. Right? Like, that's, or like, 98% of Rotten Tomatoes. I've never heard rape a bitch and then she kills herself.
Man, let me tell you
Quality film.
First of all, I am one of those individuals who doesn't believe Nate Parker raped this young lady. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two, I am also an individual who has been in the situation where I've been accused of sexual assault and also have been found not guilty, acquitted, case thrown out, whatever it was. So,
because can we just add that because you were nowhere near the rape?
I was there.
But it was at a party that you were hosting. I just don't want people.
I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know when the alleged situation happened, but I was there.
You were at this vicinity.
It was my party. Yeah.
But the only reason you were attached to it is because you were throwing a party, not because you were in a room with a girl. Because you were at this party. It's not like you and this girl were hooking up or making out. You didn't even hook up. I just want some people who just heard, you've told the story on the podcast before, but I don't want people who just start listening now to be like, whoa, Charlamagne got a rape case?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I got a sexual assault case. It's like 2001. I mean, same type of scenario. Throwing a party. Girl was over there drunk. I don't know if my boy smashed her or not. They said they didn't. I tend to believe them. They was in the room doing something.
Yeah.
And she said she got raped.
Point is, you were never with her at any point in time during this sexual encounter. It wasn't a train. It was
no.
That's what I think needs to be clarified. Yeah. So it's not the same as Nate Parker, who admittedly
Nate was fucking.
Sex.
Yeah, him and the girl was fucking. I mean, and him and the girl talked afterwards. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
Nate, if you read the transcript, there was a part of the transcript where Nate was saying, "Why do you keep saying, why do you keep saying you was unconscious? Like what are you talking about?
You were giving me head."
Yeah, but forget all of that. I just personally, this is my opinion. If you believe Nate Parker's guilty, cool. I believe he wasn't. He got found not guilty in a court of law. He was acquitted. Bye. That's all I care about. But I just don't like the fact that when somebody can present this art, that you write an article and the headline is, this movie isn't worth a defense. Like, if you're going to review the movie, review it from an objective standpoint. Forget Nate Parker, forget his rape case. Just sit down and watch the movie if you're capable of doing that. Some people just aren't capable of doing that. The writer of this article in the New Yorker doesn't seem like he's capable of doing that. Because just like you said, that headline, this movie isn't worth a defense. Like, what does that mean? You would, like you just said, you would defend Nate Parker if the movie was good?
Enough. It's
like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but I had a great convo with Nate this week. He was on the Breakfast Club. And I'm going to be honest with you, yo. Nate has ice water in his veins.
What you mean? Nate
don't give a fuck, bro. Nate don't care about nothing that's thrown at him, and he shouldn't, because he already physically. And when you hear him on the Breakfast Club, I want everybody to go check that interview out. When you hear him, from the time he started even planting seeds about doing this movie, from the time he came up with a script and said, "This is the movie I want to do," people were telling him, "Absolutely not. Go make a movie about this. Do not do a movie about Nat Turner. It'll never get done." It was just resistance from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So he was already prepared for any bullshit that was going to come his way. Personally, professionally, whatever it was. He's never ran from these rape charges. They've been on his Wikipedia page since Wikipedia been fucking in existence. Okay? Yes, he's married to a white woman. Okay? Yes, he said he would never wear a dress in a movie. So what? He's homophobic because of that, but long story short.
Chappelle started that, by the way.
Before Chappelle?
No,
Martin. Chappelle started the whole, women in the dress thing. Yeah. But my point is, Nate just got ice water in his veins, bro. Like when he was on 60 Minutes, and he was like, "You don't feel any remorse?" Why would you ever apologize for something you didn't do?
Absolutely.
Like, why? Like, you want this man to apologize for something he's told y'all over and over, "I am not guilty of."
It's an admission of guilty apology. It's like when Mike Tyson said, and somebody did a joke about this, it might have been Patrice, but when Mike Tyson said, "I wish I did rape her."
Whoa. I'm not gonna go that far.
Well, no,
but I get what you're saying. I do
that
the joke.
To the joke, he goes, and that's how I knew he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Because nobody
that really raped
a girl would say, "I wish I did," because he was. Then I would have went to jail for something. Yeah, but I went to jail for nothing.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Nate Parker is in every interview saying, "This movie isn't about me.
Yep,
it's about Nat Turner. Like, get back to me another time if you choose. But right now, can we talk about Nat Turner? That's real to me. Listen, if you spent 8 years of your life trying to get a movie done, you're running around, flying over the country, raising money. Like literally Tony Parker donated, Michael Finley, like he really raised this money to do this movie. He said, "I'm not a millionaire. I'm $100,000 there. I had to spend $100,000 of my own money. Damn near crippled me. But I had to do what I had to do." If you do all of those things, right, and then a few months before this passion project comes out, this labor of love that you've done, that you didn't have to do, and everybody's focusing on you in an old case, you would be like, "Can we please talk about this movie?" You know how much I put into this movie, man? Like, why are we talking about this?
I didn't put 8 years into that rape.
Because listen,
that rape was 15 minutes.
But it's insulting. He didn't rape nobody. But it's insulting because why am I really here? Like, why am I on Good Morning America? Am I on Good Morning America for you to chastise me about my old sexual assault case, or am I here because of Birth of a Nation with Nat Turner? Why am I here? You know what I'm saying? Like why am I on 60 Minutes? Am I on 60 Minutes because we really want to talk about Nat Turner and Birth of a Nation, or am I on 60 Minutes because you want to talk about my old rape case?
I think that we need to separate ourselves from the rape case and speak on what it is to get something done that you want to get done, and how that is a possibility. And I think that people are underappreciating the fact that this man took 8 years of his life to create the thing he wanted to create, and told his agents, "I'm not doing any acting until I'm not doing any writing. I'm focusing on this." Who out there listening has that level of commitment to something? And I want everybody to listen to that. And everybody who fucking tweets this, "Oh, we can't do it because the system is against us," and this, that, the other, and it's impossible for us to do, and especially in entertainment, "Oh, there's none of our stories are here to be told," this kind of shit. Do it yourself.
We live in the do-it-yourself era.
Do it your fucking... Stop making these fucking excuses.
We live in the do-it-yourself era.
Do it your fucking self.
Nate Parker.
Get off your ass. Get off of Twitter. Stop fucking tweeting #white privilege and write. And every time you want to tweet #white privilege, write a little bit of a script that you want to write and you want to see. Because it can be done. Nate Parker fucking did it. People do this all the time. In America.
In America. This is what America is based on. We live in a capitalist society where you can create things and then motherfucking sell them if you choose.
Exactly.
Nate Parker's story is so underappreciated because we're so busy focusing on this motherfucking rape case. Nate Parker wanted to tell a story about a black American whose story has not been told. He wanted to tell it. He knew no Hollywood studio would get it done.
So he fucking got it done.
He went out, he raised the money, his motherfucking self.
Go out there and raise the money.
He did everything we talk about doing. Pool your resources. Get with other people like yourself. Fucking accumulate this motherfucking money in film. And then he turned around and sold it to a studio for $17.5 million. Largest number ever given to a film at Sundance. So, we're not appreciating this story, bro.
So this is just to check everybody's privilege, right? Because I know you guys love to, not you guys, but a lot of people love to use that as an excuse of why they aren't doing things in their life. They think it's just because someone else has more privilege than them, not because you're fucking lazy. And
you got to create your privilege.
You got to create your privilege. Just before you think that you can't do something, keep in consideration that a black man with a fucking rape charge sold a film about Nat Turner.
About white people raping people.
About white people raping people and murdering fucking tons of white people to Fox.
Not just white people, though. That's the other good thing about the movie. I can't wait till the movie comes out because people fail to realize that it's not just... Of course, white people are the heads of systemic oppression, but you have... In that movie, you'll see black people who didn't want shit to change.
Sure.
Who was down for that structure.
But my point is, I look at this, and people should look at this as an example of someone who overcame insurmountable odds. I mean, like, usually a rape case is enough for you to not get a movie sold.
Listen, forget the
for
rape
$17.5 million.
Raising $7 million. Some of y'all have too much pride to ask for money for your rent.
Yeah.
Okay? This guy raised he told us a story about how he spent $4,000 to go, I forgot the dude who he was chasing down, but he went to go talk to the dude and holler at the dude. He spent $4,000 for travel and plane tickets and hotels, only for the dude to tell him, no thank you.
Yeah.
I'm good. That's the way life is, bro. Like...
How much do you want it?
My book comes out in March. All I'm saying is the basis of my book is how you have to create your own privilege.
And how much...
I don't give a fuck.
How much do you want? It's possible. Don't tell me it's not possible because
possible.
Nate Parker did it. Don't tell me it's not possible because so many people have done it in the past. You're making excuses for your fucking lack of desire for it. I had a guy tell me, we were tweeting, and he said, he goes, you don't think that there's privilege? He goes, you don't think that privilege helps you in America? I mean, look at Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett. Like, all those people made it because of their white privilege.
That's not true.
You think that white privilege?
It was a privilege. It was a privilege.
Their genius is their privilege, not their skin color.
I would tell him to go read Malcolm Gladwell's The Outliers because he breaks Steve Jobs and Bill Gates down specifically. Those two individuals, like, they were kind of like born in the same year, and they were like, Steve Jobs was able to be in an environment where somebody gave him a computer just to fuck with,
right?
Like, to take apart,
sure.
Like, put together, So it's kind of like it's more than just your status. It's timing.
Oh, look, there's so many things that go into it. But my argument,
it's not just white.
But my argument is that, like, this person on some level is justifying his shitty existence because his lack of success in comparison to Steve Jobs and these other guys because he's not white and they are. When those guys have worked 1,000 times harder than any of us to get where they are.
I mean, that's the easiest thing to say. Yeah, exactly. That's the easiest thing to say. Listen, man, I say this shit all the time. I believe in black privilege. You know what I'm saying? Only because I have no other choice. I'm black. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in God's privilege. I believe I had to create my own privilege. I believe I work. I believe I provide myself opportunities. That's created a certain amount of privilege for me, in this life that we live. But I know plenty of ain't shit white people.
Tons.
Who don't got shit. Okay, I gave one $25 yesterday. All right? Let's be clear on that. So if white skin was just the easy pass, the motherfucking getting to where you need to be, we'd really be in trouble.
Sure.
But that's not, I don't give a fuck what y'all say, that's not the way this shit works.
And to all these white people that say, oh, I can't get a job because affirmative action is taking all of our jobs.
You're a lazy fuck.
You stop making a fucking excuse. Get it done. Just be so great it's undeniable, okay? People get jobs. Get it fucking done, okay? The Chinese move here from China and literally set up entire cities.
They create their privilege.
Or towns where they don't even put shit in English. They literally don't give a fuck if you speak their language or not. They're like, yo, we're doing this shit. Go fuck you. You know what? The food is so good. You're going to come over here and we'll explain to you what's in it on the menu.
They're creating their own privilege, bro.
They literally, Chinese food is so good, it might have dog or rat in it and we still go eat the fucking food. Yeah, that's creating your own privilege.
I create your own privilege. I did see the conversation you was having with the young lady. I think that you misinterpreted what she was saying a little bit.
Okay, can we say what it was?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, so it started with this. It was
a tweet, an article.
It started with an article
about Jennifer Lopez playing.
Vibe magazine, yeah. Vibe's Twitter put out an article and said the Griselda, what is her name?
She's the female drug dealer.
She's the female drug kingpin.
Yeah, and J-Lo's playing her in a movie.
And J-Lo's going to play her in a movie, which J-Lo's also, I guess, producing. And it tweeted another, what is it called? Colombian. Let me get the
exact tweet. You got to swim through all that slander you was getting.
Shit, I was going in.
Fucking Andrew Schultz, a.k.a. Tommy Lauren.
Fuck you. Don't even put me in there.
Andrew and Tommy, boy, they want y'all heads on spikes.
This is just people who just don't understand.
Hello, Paige.
Hi, Paige. Okay. So, Griselda Blanco, who is, I believe, Colombian.
I don't.
Drug. I think she was the subject of Cocaine Cowboys and that documentary, etc. So she was a drug kingpin. I believe she came from Colombia. And it's another Latino drug lord story being written by a white man. Right. That's the article from Vibe Viva's Twitter. So I respond to that. I go like I'm quoting somebody. I go, white men, stop only telling white stories in Hollywood. And then I write, white men, stop telling minority stories in Hollywood. And then I did the curious emojis.
Yeah, I read the article and I read what the young lady was saying. How you pronounce her name? She's been on the podcast before. Yeah. I think what she was trying to say is you can't tell a story about a Colombian drug lord or whatever race she is without having some of those people in the room. And Lena Dunham actually talked about that on the Breakfast Club today too. She was like, I can't tell a woman of color's story. She was like, that's why it's important for the, what's the young lady who's got this show coming on HBO? It's called Insecure. What's her name? Issa Rae? Issa Rae. She shouted out Issa Rae. She was like, Issa Rae should be telling the story of a young black woman in New York. She was like, even if I had black women on girls, it's still my perspective and my POV. She was like, you need women of color to properly tell those stories. So I think that's what the young lady was trying to tell you on social media yesterday.
Okay. First of all, we'll get into on why you're talking about authenticity, right?
Yep.
There's no doubt that a young black woman could tell a young black woman's story better than a white woman that has maybe never experienced that life.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt that the authenticity would be there. But that doesn't mean that it should be illegal for a white woman who is born white that is completely out of their control to take interest in a woman of color story and be so interested and invested. Wait for it.
I didn't get that.
Let me finish. That she wants to share this story that she finds profound and beautiful. And my feeling is if we want to live in a culture of inclusion, which is what I always want to go towards, you don't get inclusion through exclusion. Exclusion does not breed more exclusion.
I don't think she was excluding nobody, though.
Look,
I think you took it as that, but
no,
I think she specifically even said in one tweet, I never said they couldn't write the story. Look, I'm just saying that you should have a woman of color in the story.
Not what she said. She goes, I said that. She goes, get over yourself. Making room for inclusion doesn't mean you get to appropriate stories, right? I go, so because someone is born white, which is out of their control, they can't have interest in another culture and want to share a story? She goes, why not hire Latina writers? You can't tell our stories no more, so no. She says, you can't tell our stories no more,
and then a tweet,
so no.
In a tweet like right after that, she said, I never said that they can't write our stories. but we should be included.
She says this. Then she goes, get out of my mentions.
Yeah, that's what she says. She says, I am explicitly saying white people can no longer tell our stories without our voices. That I agree with.
Why?
Because that's like me saying if I'm writing a show, right? And I say I'm gonna write a show about a white kid in Manhattan who grew up in Manhattan. I'm from South Carolina. Who I'm gonna call? I'm gonna call Schultz. I'm gonna call somebody I knew who's a white guy who grew up, man, I'm going to call Joe Vesey. I'm going to call somebody who lived that experience. I'm not going to sit around with my people and try to determine and figure out what kids are into. Perfect example, here at the radio station, I get so upset.
Don't call Joe Vesey because he'll steal it from you.
Joe steals?
His whole show is stolen from me.
Y'all don't get along no more?
No, he's a fucking thief.
White on white crime. Who knew?
Oh, yeah.
What?
He's fucking hack.
Hold on. We're going to get back. Joe stole from you?
Oh, yeah.
He fat Jewish you?
He fat Jewish me, yeah.
What do you mean he stole from you?
Not only me, it's me and a buddy. Yeah, I've never spoken about this, but
he appropriated Andrew Schultz's culture?
So basically, you know how he's got this show that's on like Optimum Cable? It's called The Movers, right? So a buddy of mine, Chris Scopo, who I bring on the road with me, he often opens for me when I'm doing shows. He came to me, we were just talking about ideas for a show. He's like, yeah, what about like this world of like these movers? And I'm like, dude, that's a fucking funny idea. Let's start working on that. So we start developing it, and I go, who do I know that's like has a writing background that actually can put some structure on it? So I bring Joe over. Joe comes over. The three of us start writing. We start developing it. I meet again with Joe. We start developing these characters, putting storylines together, really adding to these characters. And then it basically just goes. We stopped, working on it for a little bit, and all of a sudden this fucking mover show pops up, and I go, dude, what is this about? He goes, did you write this fucking show? He goes, no, it's just coincidence that it's coincidence. So you're not writing on this show at all. He goes, well, I mean, some of my jokes are in it, but it's complete coincidence. Now here's my issue with it. I'm paid. I'm good. You don't gotta fucking ask me if you can do it or that kind of shit like that. But Scopo is still fucking working for his dad's recycling fucking company part-time. Get the kid an audition if you're going to steal his fucking show. Like, it's such a piece of shit dirtbag fucking move to steal somebody's show. And it's not like you don't have a history in this business. Like, your father is a writer. He is a creative that people have probably stolen from tons of fucking times over. You know what I mean? So it's not like you didn't grow up knowing that shit.
I'm going to tell you,
fucking
this is very similar to what we're talking about right now. And I'm going to tell you why it's very similar.
Go.
Number one, you have these people who will see this story about the Latino drug dealer, drug lord, whatever, and won't even think of calling anybody in the room that is Dominican or even close to the situation. It's like 50 Cent doing the BMF thing and not reaching out to Big Meech. And it was people who were saying that. You ain't even talked to Big Meech. 50 put on Instagram a letter from Big Meech and said, why the fuck would I ever do a BMF movie and not talk to Big Meech, you fucking idiot?
So why do you think that this writer didn't do all this research and talk to these Latinos and talk to
I don't know that she didn't.
That's my point is my point is her exclusionary tactics are just so bad for progression, and she doesn't even realize how bad they are because she only surrounds herself with people who agree with her arguments, so she doesn't understand how to create an argument that works with your detractors. Like, she's just not a very how do I put this? Well versed in. She's not very well versed in the opposition of her point.
I think the only way to have this argument fully is to see who the rest of the writing staff is. Like, that's what you have to see. Like, sure. I mean, I'm sure the head writer may be white, but who else is? I don't even know who that is. I don't know what he is.
So Terrence Winters, I guess.
Terrence Winters.
But my point is, just because you're white doesn't mean that you can't show interest in a story, do research in a story. I mean, like the fucking white guy that we had, your buddy Mark, showed interest in what's the guy's name?
Oh, Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas's story. Yeah. Went and interviewed Frank Lucas. Ended up writing an article for this thing, which turned into a movie about Frank Lucas. Should that movie have never been made because he's not black?
Maybe
that's preposterous. It's fucking stupid.
I don't think she was saying that white people should be excluded. I think she said exactly what she said. You can't.
She did say.
She said you can't tell our stories without our voice.
You can't tell our stories. Here's what she said. You can't tell our stories no more. So no.
No, she said you got.
I'm reading it, Charlamagne.
I just read it. Why are you? I just read it.
I go, because someone is born white, which is out of their control, they can't have interest in another culture and share and want to share a story. She goes, why not hire Latina writers? ? And then she goes, you can't tell our stories no more. So no. And her response to my question.
I'm reading the one that says, I am explicitly saying white people can no longer tell our stories without our voices. And once again, I don't know if they have Latino writers in this room or not. Maybe she has some inside information because she works for Vibe. Maybe she did her research and she knows that they don't have no Latino writers. I don't know.
If a black person shows interest in a story of some Upper East Side kid and he wants to write a fucking movie about that,
I would say that black person is a fool if they don't go get an Upper East Side kid to consult with.
Oh, absolutely. But my point is any quality writer is going to consult these people like Mark did and just like I imagine this person did. But my point is it should not be a prerequisite to tell a story that you have to be of that, race or religion. Because furthermore, I'm not exactly sure where Marjorie was from. I don't know if she was Dominican. If I remember correctly, I think she's Dominican. But just because you're Dominican, does that give you the right to write a Colombian story? Just because you both speak Spanish?
I think both of y'all are going back and forth for nothing until y'all find out who the rest of the writers are.
No. My point is it doesn't matter who the rest of the writers are. If you've done your due diligence as a writer, if you've interviewed Latinos, if you've interviewed the people in her circle, and you've interviewed the people that come from where she comes from, and you're understanding, and you've done the most research you can, just like Mark did, put in the time and effort, and created a very interesting story and dialogue and conversation about the drug war at that time and this interesting character around it, and you do justice for it, let the market decide. If Latinos look at the story and be like, this feels like some corny ass shit that some white person wrote, then that's fine.
That's the problem.
Then that's fine. You're allowed to have that.
There's no way in hell Gods of Egypt should come out with an all-white cast.
We're not talking about cast, Charlamagne.
That's from having nobody in the room. That one person, even though it should have been a white person in the room, that should have been like, how are we doing a movie about Egypt with no people of color?
Now we're on a different topic. Let's just stay on the same.
It's the same.
No. Just stop.
It is.
Stop. Both, Chris, please stop. Please stop.
It's the same thing.
Chris, please stop. The argument that we're coming to right now is not who is portraying these characters, because portrayal, I agree, should have a look component with it, right? We're talking about writing a story and sharing a story.
That's more important.
Chris has written...
As far as portrayal, writing is more important.
Well, see,
setting the world is more important.
Chris shouldn't write your book.
He's not writing my book.
Well,
We're
he's
writing
helping
it
you
together.
write the book. Yes, well, you shouldn't. You should get a black guy.
Why?
Am I talking to myself?
Why? Chris,
am I talking to my fucking self? Right? Chris, you should have written none of Russell's books, by the way. You're not black enough.
People have said that to me.
Yeah, so how do you feel about it?
But Chris isn't writing anything as far as content is concerned. Chris is writing structure.
Answer. Let Chris answer.
I mean, me personally as Chris Morrow, I think it's bullshit. I say, no, I do a great job and I earned the position I got.
So
why? Looking at the bigger picture, they might have a point.
I don't agree with that.
So you agree with me?
What
You agree with me, which is basically what I'm saying is if you do your due diligence, if you invest in this.
Time out. You hear what I'm saying?
Which is what?
I'm with Chris. I'm writing stuff, sending it to Chris.
Yeah.
Chris fleshes it out in book structure, and then me and Chris sit there line by line.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. Nope, I don't want this.
Sure.
Let's change this. Let's change that. That's the difference.
Yeah.
He didn't just have a conversation with me and I told him a bunch of stuff.
Room. That's
and
what,
he just
this,
wrote
that's what this is about.
and presented.
So you're assuming
everybody has to be in the room.
Everybody has to be in the room.
So you're assuming that this person who wrote this, and so is this girl Marjua, which is incredibly incapable of discourse or debate of any kind because she doesn't have a strong foundation on what she actually believes. You're assuming that this person who has white skin that wrote this story did not do that exact same thing with the powers that be.
Can we go back to Charlamagne and God's point? Because it always comes back to my point. I just said neither one of y'all can go back and forth until y'all find out what this head writer did or who he has in the room.
Because it's Terrence Winter who wrote
but here's let me say this point, because now here's the difference in opinion here. There's a difference in equation. If this person was Latino.
Who, Terrence Winters?
Terrence Winters. If Terrence Winters was Terinto Winteroso, all of a sudden, he doesn't need to interview Griselda's family.
No, yes, he would.
Well, no, I believe he does.
He absolutely would.
But Marjua doesn't, because she'd be satisfied with a Latino telling a Latino story just because they're Latino.
Nah, that's not.
And she
doesn't.
And they don't need to do the same due diligence. Due diligence and consultation, these things only matter with a white person, because if you're a Latino, you know every Latino story. And apparently, according to Marjua, every Latino is exactly the same, regardless of they're from Dominican Republic or Colombia.
I think that's super ignorant. 50 Cent is black.
I agree.
50 Cent is black.
I agree.
Big Meech and Terry Flannery is black. But 50 didn't grow up in Detroit. He didn't grow up in Atlanta. So he has to go talk to people that were around the situation. He has to go talk to Terry.
So if you have to learn about another culture, and you have to learn about this story, and you have to learn about these things, and you have to take time out of your day to really understand somebody's story, It shouldn't matter if you're a black person who wants to write a story about Griselda, if you're an Afro-Latina, if you're an Afro-Latino, if you're a white person. If you show interest in someone's story, there should be no borders. There should be no segregation in what stories can be told as long as you do the due diligence.
But I don't think she was saying that.
She was absolutely saying it, Charlotte.
I mean, from
you're just saying no.
No, I think you're just. I don't
know why you
because you like to argue. But
no, I'm just quoting.
She said it in this one tweet. It's simple. Like it's so
very simple to me. It's just right here. Why not hire Latina writers? You can't tell our stories no more. You can't tell our stories no more. I'll say it one more time. You can't tell our stories no more. So I'm reading the
tweet that says
couldn't be any more clear than that.
I'm reading, and this is clear to me. I am explicitly saying white people can no longer tell our stories without our voices. That's simple.
And consulting somebody like I'm sure this writer did because he wrote Boardwalk Empire, and I don't think he probably just like any quality writer just fucking throw some shit out in the ether. He probably consulted Latinos and their voicers.
And I'm sure he has Latino people.
So he has every right to write it. So you agree with me.
But once again, I never said he didn't. And I don't think she's saying that either.
She is saying that because she just said it. I don't know how many times I have to read it.
So why are you not reading this one?
She's responding.
Why are you ignoring this?
I don't see that one.
What do you read that, Chris? What does that say?
I mean, we know what it says. Our stories without our voice. You guys are arguing a specific point. She's reacting to a historical reality, which is there hasn't been enough diversity in writing rooms. That's a fact.
So then write your own shit. Nate Parker it. Why I hate this like groveling shit where it's just like,
by the way, we don't know who was in Nate Parker's writing room. We know Nate wrote.
Sure.
But we don't know if the father writers were white.
Jean Celestine
exactly.
Also wrote.
We don't know.
And we don't know who was consulted to him in this writing room. But she's just taking issue to this because he's a white man. And that is my problem. When you look at somebody just based on their race and completely discredit their ability to write something just based on their race is the exact same thing that we've been fighting against for the last fucking 300 years in this country.
I think that both of y'all have a mute argument until y'all sit down and do your due diligence to see who the other writers are of this movie. And of course we know he did, because that's just common sense. We know he did consulting. That's just common sense. If he fucking is doing this movie, he got the green light to do this movie, he did consulting.
But this is why this is a concern for me, because I considered Vibe, at least at one point in time, a legitimate publication. And when you could hire somebody to be a senior editor I honestly, when she came on a show, thought she was like some Twitter activist just because her arguments were so flimsy and transparent and so easy to kind of like bully through, that I thought that she was just like some girl that tweeted. I didn't realize that she had a job at a legitimate publication. And when you're hiring people who have such horrendous logic and arguments, I mean, Jesus, it's kind of scary that you could get a editing position for a fucking periodical.
Trust me, she feels the same way about this podcast. She's like, why the fuck does Andrew Schultz have a voice? Trust me, she feels the same exact way.
But no, it's not that, because when you make an argument, at least when I make an argument, I make that argument with the consideration of the detractor. I go, how will somebody who would disagree with this point react to my statement? And I create an argument that would combat anything that they have. So when people disagree with me, if you've noticed, when people disagree with me on the internet, whenever I say something, a lot of times they don't have an actual reaction. They just go, you're racist. You're a bigot.
Time out. In those people's defense, you can't tweet out, you want to restrict someone's ability to tell a story based on race, but when we restrict someone's ability to drink out of a water fountain, and then you hit them with the fucking emojis like this, you can't compare segregation, one of the worst times in our country, to a fucking movie.
What do you call not allowing somebody to write something based on the color of their skin? You wouldn't call that segregation? That's what I would call it.
I'd call it discrimination.
What is segregation? Maybe. Discrimination based on race.
I just think this is a terrible. You want to restrict someone's ability to tell a story based on race.
The point
you're talking about not having. We went from not. You went from not having enough writers in the room or white people writing people of color stories to, but when you call yourself an oppressor.
I'm taking accountability for white people's oppression.
But you can't do that, Schultz.
Why not?
Because you always say that you don't want that. You always say you shouldn't be guilty for sins of your past. And when you say we, you put yourself in the context of these bigots and these oppressors, and say restrict someone's ability to drink out of water fountain. So you basically put yourself in the line of fire of being a white supremacist. I have to take accountability for how I'm seen as a white person and for
the ills that white people have done in the past.
Because you said on this podcast,
I personally feel no responsibility for that in my life, none, and I never will. But I understand that people will perceive me as a white person as being responsible for these ills. And because of their perception, I have to take accountability for that, for an argument like that, right? And also when I said we, right? Mm-hmm. We, meaning the greater we, this is America, at one point, didn't allow white and black people to drink out of the same water
fountain. You got to be more
fountain.
specific. You got to say when.
Fair enough, but the argument, you can't deny the logic. Like what I have, which Marjo unfortunately doesn't have, and which is scary for a person in the position that she's in.
No, what's scary is both of y'all are arguing and don't know who's in the room. That's even.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
If she'd have said that, if I was responding to that tweet, mm-hmm. I would have tweeted Vibe and said, "How do we know there's no Latinos in the writing room?"
Can I ask you one question? What if a law was passed, right, that said people...
But answer that question, though.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you... Why not just ask, how do we know there's not any Latinos in the writing room?
Because in my personal opinion, there don't need to be Latinos in the writing room. As long as the due diligence was done in terms of consultation and research and immense amounts of research.
That's part of it.
Mark didn't have help black writers helping him write that article, but he had a source. He came from Frank Lucas.
Yeah, but Mark does a lot of research.
Terrence Winters doesn't?
I'm not saying he doesn't, but when Mark did that story, I think it's a big difference in writing a movie. And also remember this, when Mark writes these stories, he's still writing them from his perspective.
Sure.
He's just getting as much information as he can, but it's still coming from Mark.
So
Mark will give his opinion. Mark will give his opinion of you. Mm-hmm. Mark will say if he likes you, if he doesn't like you. Mark will say if he thinks you're full of shit after being with you for 2 weeks. That's why it was so good when he wrote good things about me.
As he fucking should.
So with this, when you're telling somebody's story, not giving your opinion of somebody's story, you're actually sitting down telling someone's story. Mm-hmm. You got to have people close to the situation, and I think you should have some.
And I assume that he is
Latinos in the room. I'm not even gonna say I think you should have Latinos in the room. You should just have people that were close to that situation.
I absolutely agree with you, because again, this person's story is this person's story. It's not the story of every Latino that's ever come to America. It's this specific person's story. So I think you need to get those. But my question to you is this: if we made a law in America that said that you were not allowed to share a story or write a story about anybody that was outside of your race, would you think that that's discriminatory?
Of course.
So you agree with me in likening it to the water fountain, because there was a law at one point in time where black people could not drink out of white people's water fountains, and that was discriminatory based on to black people.
I think that the young lady's talking about integration. If you want to use the segregation concept,
she's not talking about integration. She's talking about exclusion. She literally said it in the tweet. She's talking about exclusion. And in my personal opinion, I think what you need to do is promote radical inclusion. Meaning, if you want to fucking write a story about it,
I don't know why you can't see that. That's all I see.
No.
So you tell me where she says we want radical inclusion.
She wants in the room.
She says you cannot tell our stories.
She wants white people out of the room.
No, that's not what she said. She said you can't. The tweet
you show me. Just show me.
I'm going to show you the tweet right here. Yeah. It's right here. She says, I'm going to pull it up right now.
Because, again, I keep reading this one tweet, which you guys seem to not understand the words of.
She said a couple of things. She said She said Andrew Schultz says white men telling minority stories is enough, as if they shouldn't be told by said minorities.
And then what did I respond to? Then what I respond to? At what point did I say they shouldn't be told by them? Everybody should be able to tell whatever story wants, and then let the market decide. She specifically
says, get over yourself. Making room for inclusion doesn't mean you get to appropriate stories.
So again, she's saying you're not allowed to tell them. So again, you agree with me. She just said, doesn't mean you're allowed to appropriate stories. Appropriate means you cannot appropriate a story of another race. So she wants to create boundaries at which she wants to create boundaries for what you can do based on the color of your skin. That's what she wants to do.
I don't think it's a boundary. I just think it's simple as, like she says, I am explicitly saying white people can no longer tell our stories without our voices. There's no way I would write a story about a white kid in Manhattan without having a white kid from Manhattan in the room.
Again,
let me go back.
You're adding a caveat, Charlemagne. You're adding a very important caveat, which is not discussed in this. All we're discussing right now is, can you, as a white person, or as a black person, or as a Latino, tell a story of a different race?
Yes,
we're not saying you. That's all I'm saying.
She's saying that.
No, she's not. She had multiple on multiple tweets that you've just read, stop appropriating our stories. Stop appropriate means you're not allowed. You're not allowed to appropriate stories.
She feels like it's appropriation if one of us is not in the room. That's all she's saying.
Andrew, do you concede that appropriation has happened historically?
Appropriation is history. That's what we do. We appropriate. Cool.
Do you think it's damaging?
No, I think appropriation. Listen, there'd be no Italian food if the Italians didn't appropriate pasta from the Chinese.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about specifically images through the media, through movies, through TV.
It's very damn. Let's stop using buddwords like appropriation.
Let me ask Chris
with my wife about this.
What are you saying?
It's very dangerous if we're not telling accurate stories. If people aren't being accurately portrayed. That's it.
Yeah, but you're adding a different caveat to this argument so that your argument can make sense. All we're arguing right now is if a person has the right to tell a story of another person whose skin just happens to be different.
Yes, they do.
I believe they do. She believes that that's appropriation, and she believes it's not allowed. So I personally disagree. You didn't. Of course you didn't, but a lot of times
Did you get that when you read it, Chris? I thought it was simple.
I get her bigger picture. I think, and I said this before off the air, I'm not sure if she's using the best example to make her case in this point because we don't know who the writers are.
Listen, she doesn't use any example. This is what constantly happens with these types of social justice warrior types.
There's validity to
when you only surround yourself by people who agree with you, your arguments are horrible because you don't actually have to argue. You just yap, and then someone goes, "You're right." When you actually
have her back on the show to discuss
I would love to. When Charlemagne and I sit here and argue, our arguments get fucking strong because we're literally butting heads like two fucking rams in the jungle, wherever rams are, constantly butting heads. So by the time we go out into the fucking street and have an argument with a regular person, it's lightsaber destruction. Slice you in half.
Well, I don't like arguing. I like having productive conversation. But this is my thing. This goes back to radio. This goes back to even MTV. I hate when we're in meetings having conversations about what we think kids like or about what we think kids are into.
Okay.
Go get some motherfucking kids and bring them in on the conversation. Okay. Simple as that. That's why when at MTV, before they greenlight shows, after all the old executives sit around and watch it, they have Focus Blog with kids.
Yep.
What do y'all think? And then they ask kids questions. What do y'all want to see on the network? I can't stand, I hate it when it's a bunch of late 30-year-olds, and I'm putting myself in this too, late 30-year-olds, early 40s, 50-year-old people trying to guess what kids like.
Oh, absolutely.
It's whack. Yeah. So that's all that is.
That's why MTV's failing right now. You have a bunch of 55-year-olds that are making decisions for 14-year-olds.
You can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't. So all she's saying is, I forget race. You can't appropriate youth culture. You got to have the youth in the room. Simple as that. And that's what she's saying.
What I'm saying is a writer as esteemed as this man right here is, would do the due diligence to understand those stories and do the research necessary. I mean, if you watch Boardwalk Empire, at no point in time are you going, this is probably zero historical accuracy and this is anything like it.
I'm sure he did.
Absolutely.
But my point is
this.
But
the reason that she thinks that he didn't or even thinks he shouldn't even be allowed to do in the first place is because of the color of his skin, and she is being, I think she's prejudiced towards him and not giving him a fair shake because of that.
I think she's doing it because of the color of his skin and in light of history.
Sure. And you know what? I'm not okay with it. And furthermore, it begs this question: how close do you have to be in order to write the story? Like, if you're black but you're from like in this 50 Cent situation, but if you're from Queens, are you allowed to write a story about a black guy from Detroit? Or are you appropriating his culture?
No, people were very upset about that. No.
Story?
When he first announced that he was doing a BMF movie, people were in an uproar. Because they was like, how was this guy from Queens going to do a show about these drug dealers who were from Detroit and from Atlanta?
Absolutely.
They was upset. But if it was Jeezy, it was like, okay, that makes sense. Jeezy used to roll with BMF. You know what I'm saying? Like, even T.I.'s from Atlanta. T.I. had the rights to the movie at one point. Perfect. But guess what? 50's the one who could get it done.
Exactly.
But 50 knows. I mean, that's just common sense. There's no way you're doing something without going to talk to fucking Big Meech.
Absolutely.
Same way if you're doing a show about youth, you need to go get some youth involved. Same way if you're doing a show about a Colombian drug lord, go talk to some motherfuckers that was close to the Colombian drug lord.
And I'll even go so far as to say that you don't even need to make it a rule that you go talk to them. The market will decide. The market will go out and see that movie about Big Meech and go, did you even, if it's shitty, go, did you even talk to Big Meech's people? Did you even do any, this is horrible. So,
you're right, but at that point it's too late and it's dangerous because the story's already been out there.
No,
and
because you can remake
Japan,
it. They remade the Hulk 5 times. They remade Spider-Man 15 times.
Yeah, but some kid in Japan will fucking watch that shit. Some kid in Japan who hates Tupac right now because of that fucking Chinese Tupac movie. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just be going out telling people stories. That is a fact. You can't go ruining good ass motherfucking stories.
I honestly feel like you should be. Okay, Greg.
Okay.
Greg, I honestly feel. Okay. I honestly feel like Greg is falling apart. I literally feel like he's falling apart as we watch. I don't know what just happened.
Right.
Greg just went wah. Hasn't said anything in an hour and just screamed wah because you said Chinese.
All right. This week's episode of Brilliant Idiots is brought to you by Squarespace. Everything you could ever need to get your website off the ground is included in your Squarespace website. It's easy to create and maintain. Squarespace even provides beautiful design templates with customizable settings to set your website apart from the rest. And from nationally recognized brands like thebrilliantidiots.com to your favorite local shop, Squarespace is trusted by hundreds of thousands of savvy shop owners around the world. Squarespace Commerce lets you expand your business online by giving you the tools to understand every aspect of your business.
Greg, you have any sound effects for us?
I just like that Asian humor. I'm not hearing this shit.
Best of all, Squarespace's customer care team is ready and willing 24/7 to tackle any problem you have. Every member of the customer care team is an experienced Squarespace user working in a Squarespace office, trained and waiting online to help you. So start your free trial today at squarespace.com. Enter offer code IDIOT to get 10% off your first purchase. That's squarespace.com. Offer code IDIOT to save 10% on your first purchase. Squarespace sets your website apart.
All right, what did we miss this week, man? We talked.
You see the hip hop honors?
I did see the BET Hip Hop Awards.
What'd you think?
I thought they were great, and the reason I thought they were great is because I have totally removed myself from being old and bitter. The only gripe people have with those award shows is that they just can't relate anymore. And you know what, man? When Snoop got on that stage and Snoop said he won his Icon Award, and he goes, I'm just not one of these old bitter guys that's mad about what's going on now. I look at Snoop and I think to myself, my daddy used to talk about Snoop the way people talk about Lil Yachty now. My father hated Snoop Dogg. My father made me throw away my Chuck Taylors. My father made me cut my hair. Yep. My father was like, you are not no fucking Snoop Dogg. He didn't like, what the fuck is this guy even talking about? Yeah. Now my father probably not only knows Snoop, loves him. Yeah. My father hated Method Man and Redman. Method Man used to walk around with half his hair done, half of it in an afro, a fucking white contact in his eye,
toothbrush in his
fucking mouth, tissue hanging out his nose. They looked crazy too. They all looked crazy. Yeah. And that's how people look at them now. And I know it's like, oh, you're comparing Lil Yachty and Young Thug and Quavo to those guys. Yes. Yes, I am. Yeah. Yes, I am. Because guess what? We don't know what any of them is going to turn out to be.
We always hate on new shit.
We do.
iPhone puts out a new iOS. People hate on it. iPhone puts out the new phone where it doesn't have the headphone jack. People hate on it. And then 3 years from now or 5 years from now, everybody's got wireless fucking headphones. Same shit goes on in the hip-hop industry. It is what it is. It takes some time to adjust.
And maybe I'm from the South. So being from the South, we've always been hated on. New York never accepted the South. New York is the same fucking place where they booed Outkast. Think about that.
We booed Outkast?
You goddamn right y'all booed Outkast. One of the greatest hip-hop groups of all time. People forget this at the 95 Source Awards. Everybody always remember Snoop getting on stage. You ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg? Yeah. They think about Suge saying you're going to be all up in the videos, but they forget about Andre 3000 winning that award, them getting booed, and Andre said, the South got something to say. And guess what? We've been saying it ever since for the past 20 fucking years. Okay? And where would hip-hop be right now without the South? Because, sorry, New York been fell off.
A lot less people would probably die from drinking purple. Listen, that's for damn sure.
Right. New York been fell off. And not only that, the South has influenced every genre. Everybody that's popping, no matter what region, they kind of sound like they're from the South.
Yeah.
OT Genesis is from L.A. You would never know. Cut it, Coco.
Oh, I thought he's from Brooklyn.
No, Designer's from Brooklyn.
I know Designer.
The one that sounds like Future.
Yeah.
Even Young M.A. with the ooh, she can rap, but that got a little bounce to it as well.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is I sit back and I enjoy watching the kids be kids. That's it.
Yeah. I'm
not here to judge them. I think that shit is the wackest shit in the world.
Let the market decide.
Let the market decide. All I want them to do is be great, and I want them to. I can't even sit here and say I want them to put out positive images and positive influences because I didn't demand that from my guys.
Yeah, but maybe you know better now.
I know better, and I also know that those kids will grow.
Yeah,
that I know.
Yeah,
and yes, I will tell them every now and then, like, yo, man, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. Don't encourage kids to do this. Don't encourage kids to do that.
Aren't these kids overwhelmingly more positive than the rappers we grew up with?
Depends
just
who you're
talking
talking
about
about.
Smoking weed and fucking dancing and partying.
It depends who you're talking about.
Is Yachty putting out horrible images?
Yachty does some hard drugs, bro.
No, he's sober.
Yachty?
Yachty's sober.
Well, you know what? I don't know. I can't understand what he's saying. So I don't know what the fuck.
So, but isn't it? I mean, like
Yachty's the greatest melodic.
Yachty's sober,
mumbler.
right?
I doubt
I'm
it.
almost 100% positive that Yachty's sober. Look it up. Let's look it up.
I think Yachty does prescription pills.
No,
and stuff
I'm
like
almost positive he's sober. All
he
I'm
raps
saying
about it.
Is there's fucking. I'm almost positive, but look, whatever. I could be wrong. But my point is, I think that the young rappers that are popular now, the younger generation of rappers that are popular now, are putting out way better images in the world than the rappers that we grew up with.
Oh, for sure. I mean, listen, you got Drake, you got Cole, you got Kendrick,
Drake,
you got
Cole,
Wale,
Kendrick,
you got
Yachty.
Vince Staples, you got Vic Mensa. No, I'm not putting Yachty in there. You got Chance the Rapper, you got Big Sean, you got these dudes who ain't doing nothing but rapping about being kids and living their
wrap
lives.
it fucking up. It's just great. Like,
And
this
I'm gonna
is
tell you
great.
who I fuck with Quavo, yo. I think I cannot wait to play a game of Scrabble and use the word discriminate.
Discriminate.
He says that on Pick Up the Phone. I ain't no racist. I don't discriminate.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Oh my God. And I'm going to lay that word out. I know how to spell it and everything. I'm going to get those points. And when somebody tells me that's not a word, I'm just going to play Pick Up the Phone and go right to Quavo's motherfucking part, okay? What the fuck is discriminate?
I love it.
I love it, man.
Love it.
Like, I just like watching the kids be kids. Like, you just have to realize that ain't your era.
Yeah.
And you don't have, first of all, you shouldn't be acting like that.
You like what you grow up with. It's
it.
like if you
That's
grow
it.
up in Mexico, you're gonna like spicy food because that's the food of the region. If you're a kid now listening to rap, that's the rap you're gonna listen to.
Listen,
and that's what it is.
Beanie did a freestyle last night, and I don't want to sound like I'm trying to harp on Beanie Siegel.
Okay.
Beanies did a freestyle last night
on the Cypher.
Where he talked about kids with colorful braids and colorful dreads, tight pants sagging, this and that. Bro.
I'm tired of fat people judging skinny jeans.
Bro.
Get your fucking.
I want all of y'all to Google State Property Clothing. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? Beanie Siegel had a clothing line called State Property Clothing. I remember an article where Beanie Siegel said, yo, this shit is the hottest shit in the street. This shit got, you know what I'm saying, hidden pockets so you can keep your gun in and keep your drugs in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said this as a selling point to his clothing line.
So can you be upset if somebody is prejudiced towards you if you're wearing state property when you're promoting that you can hide your gun and drugs in it?
You don't think some adults looked at that shit and said, this is the dumbest fucking shit? This guy has a clothing line where he's got his fucking pockets hidden so you can hide your gun and your motherfucking drugs.
You're asking cops to harass us.
But you're clowning fucking dudes for having red braids or red. Like, that's, bro, stop it. Everybody got to stop judging each other because you was that guy. As much as you think
you were worse.
As much as you think it's crazy for these guys that have tight clothes and colored dreadlocks and colored braids, people looked at you and thought you was crazy because you was rapping about killing people 100 miles per hour.
And
okay.
Here's what's even worse. You normalized killing people.
You did.
These kids are normalizing doing some fucking prescription pills and partying. Is that bad?
Man.
If we could shift the perception of hip-hop music and people who dress quote-unquote hip-hop style to just a bunch of people who like partying and popping pills, you don't think that would be better for everybody that's influenced by that?
Listen, I grew up on bitches ain't shit but hoes. Yes, I grew up on bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
I beat my bitch with a stick,
I grew up on I bet you won't hit a motherfucker. I grew up on I'm outside of the club and motherfucker think I'm a punk. So I'm going to go to my loaded Tech 9 that's off in the trunk.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up on, okay? Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and judge these motherfucking kids for living their life. Let kids be fucking kids. No. You know what you sound like?
Them.
You sound like
Celebrate them.
You sound like the old bitter man who used to be judging you. That's what you sound like.
We always talk about how, like, this music is influencing kids to do drugs, right? Mm-hmm. The old music was influencing kids to sell them.
No.
I'd rather you fucking do the drug.
Use guns.
Use guns. So I'd rather you use some fucking drugs and hang out on a couch all night in a safe apartment that your parents own than you fucking going out killing people and selling drugs and risking your own life and being incarcerated. Celebrate this new music. Even if it sucks, even if it sounds shitty, thank God these young kids are looking up to people that are just saying, hey, smoke a little weed, fucking hang out.
That's different. If you think the music is whack, you're entitled to your opinion.
Sure.
You can say it's whack, this shit ain't for me, cool. But don't judge them for what they're doing because you looked just as ridiculous.
Worse.
I promise you look just as ridiculous. Go back and look at Brooklyn Zoo video with Old Dirty Bastard and tell me if that shit does not look ridiculous to you now. Tell me that shit don't look fucking ridiculous, bro. Beanie, you looked ridiculous this week when I saw you on Instagram holding 2 goddamn rifles in the air talking about anybody that's not with gang, bang, bang. I'm like, Beanie, you're 42 years old, bro. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. You was on Tax on Podcast. You said you got a pierced lung, no pancreas, no spleen. I just stop it already. Like, everybody got to stop it, man. Knock it the fuck off, yo. Let kids be kids. Let bygones be bygones. And let brilliant idiots be brilliant fucking idiots.
Amen.
Bro.
Hallelujah.
We're out, man.
Hey, thanks to Mafia 3 for sponsoring today's episode of Brilliant Idiots.
No, this is after. I got to end the show first.
Oh, my bad.
Goddamn, Schultz.
Damn, I fucked it up. That was
fucking
too.
White people always want to get ahead of everything.
God damn it.
All right, as always, if you listen to this podcast, you think we're brilliant, you think we're smart, you think we're intelligent, you're absolutely right. If you listen to this podcast, you think we're just a couple idiots who don't know shit, you're right too. It's the Brilliant Idiots Podcast. Thank you for listening.
Thanks again to Mafia 3 for sponsoring today's episode of Brilliant Idiots. Pre-order Mafia 3 right now on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. After years of combat in Vietnam, Lincoln Clay knows the truth. Family isn't who you're born with. It's who you die for. When his surrogate family, the Black Mob, is betrayed and wiped out by the Italian Mafia, Lincoln builds a new family on the ashes of the old and blazes a path of military-grade revenge and redemption through the mafioso responsible. Go to MafiaGame.com/BrilliantIdiots for a chance to win a free copy of Mafia 3. But don't take any chances. Pre-order it now at PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Available on October 7th. Rated M for mature.